You know it's this. Take a perk and a talk of that shit. Money swallowing like sis. Did it perfect in the kid. Got a billion who sang on my head. Look me better put on the road I just spent. I know we got $1 million. The devil that shit ain't not cheaper again.
Hello and welcome back, fellow anime lovers, to MangaMuse. I am delighted to have you join us once again in the world of fanfiction and fantasy. This is the fourth part of What If Naruto Enters Hyperdimension Neptunia. Special note, this fanfic is written and a masterpiece of Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Do check and support the author too. Now smash the like, share and subscribe button for more. Also press the bell icon so that you never miss such great parts. Thanks for the introduction. Now let's dive into the world. Naru. Kampa called out in worry. How can she be so strong even when using Lady Vert's power, asked If. Like I said, your defeat was inevitable. Arfuar strode past Naruto towards the girls when she felt something grab her leg and looked to see Naruto grabbing onto it. I'm not through with you yet, said Naruto in defiance. You just don't know when to roll over and die. Arfuar spun and kicked the blonde in the gut hard enough to send him rolling away. Naruto raised his head to reveal the irises of his eyes are becoming slitted. Naruto. Neptune tried to get to her feet but was having difficulty in doing so. The others were just as concerned for him. Leave Naruto alone, you meanie. Harassment groaned out. This isn't good, said Model Z with trepidation. Ran saw her MSTRS and friends in peril while hiding behind a rock. Lady Vert is in danger. She recalls the times when they first met and Vert took her in as a pet, partaking in quests on online games and so much. This filled her with determination. Lady Vert is hard to play games with, but she's really kind now. It's Ran's turn to help Lady Vert. Arfuar loomed over Neptune with a look of arrogance. Ha! What's the matter? Where did all of that poise go? She kicked Neptune, making her cry out in pain. The power is nice, but the overly suggestive front is a bother. I'm tired of this power, so I'll take yours now and destroy you with it. Arfuar launches a purple aura towards Neptune like before. Darn it, I won't be able to dodge in time, thought Neptune frantically. Stoop! Something intercepted the purple aura and tackle a surprised Arfuar, which caused her transformation to be disrupted and revert to her original form. What? She looked to see that the cause was Ran and got angry. You were still here. No one notices Ran, said Ran bravely. A soft glow could be seen in her hands. A ball of light? Asked If confusedly. Arfuar clicked her tongue in annoyance. Copy my power as a goddess. Ran threw the ball of light over to If. Miss If, please give that to Lady Vert. Hurry. Right. If got to her feet and ran over to Vert. Damn it, this is deja vu all over again. Arfuar kicked at Ran, sending her tumbling away. Miss If, please take care of Lady Vert or I'll kick you out, said Ran before she lost consciousness. Ran. Vert called out to her worriedly. If reached to her side and held out the ball of light to her. Take this, Lady Vert. The ball of light floated away from If and went into Vert, restoring her powers. This power, it's been a while since I felt like this. Vert smiled softly, then she was engulfed in a pillar of light which dissipated to reveal that she has transformed into her HDD form. I will use this power to defeat you and your evil, Arfuar. If watched in wonder, so this is Lady Vert in HDD form, how appealing. Thank you Iffy, but let us defeat the enemy before us first. Vert turned to the others. Neptune, Kampa, Naruto, can you all stand up? Neptune rose to her feet after having enough time to recover. Of course, I won't let myself be beaten. Kampa stood up as well. If Nep wants to keep fighting, then I will too. Naruto got up and opened his eyes to reveal that they had gone back to normal, much to K9's relief. I'm still up for round 2, I'll need your help this time X. As you wish. Model X flew into Naruto's hand as he held it forward. Mega Merge. Naruto called out to initiate the transformation for the second time. Biolink established. MEGA system online. Naruto was engulfed in a dome of light before it dissipated to reveal that he had transformed into Mega Man Model X and had the X-Buster at the ready. Arfoire frowned at all this. How persistent. No matter, I'll defeat you all. Well said, but I will make you regret that decision. Vert responded. Allow me to make the first move. Vert rushed right up to Arfoire and unleashed a combo of slashes and jabs, forcing the witch to the defensive, but was struck several times before backing away to prepare an attack when If ran past Vert to slash consecutively with her venom claws. Arfoire managed to deflect a few of the attacks and was about counter, but Naruto made a move before If could get hit. Soul Body. He channeled his energy to create a shining ghost-like silhouette of himself to appear in between them and mimicked his movements to parry the witch's incoming strike for If to move away. Then he had the silhouette perform an uppercut to launch Arfoire into the air before fading away. Neptune took to the air in pursuit and slashed at her rapidly before completing the combo with an axe kick to send her crashing to the ground. Arfoire got back to her feet albeit bruised and glared at the group fiercely. Then she launched multiple orbs of dark magic with the others quickly taking evasive action to avoid getting hit by any of them. Rolling shield, full charge. Naruto encased himself in a spherical ball of red energy as he dashed forwards with the dark orbs being deflected, and he slammed into Arfoire to disrupt her attack. Here's payback. Rising fire. He ignited his fist in flames and unleashed a rising uppercut to propel himself and Arfoire into the air and released a fireball at the end of the uppercut for additional damage. Demon Flames. If activated her skill to trigger multiple explosions of flames erupted around Arfoire before combining to create one large final fiery explosion for maximum damage. Vert was quick to follow up with multiple slashes from her spear before swinging it strongly to call forth a minor tornado to send Arfoire flying from them. I'm letting you off so easily. Cross combo. Neptune dashed towards Arfoire and slashed up to 5 hits with the 6th launching the witch into the air, then flying after her with the final slash to drive her down to the ground. Aiming laser. A horizontal semicircle appears with a crosshair in Naruto's HUD that can travel along it when Naruto moves the X-Buster. He locked onto Arfoire and attacked by rapidly firing a purple laser beam, pummeling her with the barrage. Arfoire couldn't believe what was happening to her right now. She was seriously being overwhelmed by the very opponents whom she was beating down to the ground. Arfoire glared at the group and flew towards them with her spear shrouded in purple energy and lashed out to strike them. Vert quickly raised her spear to block the incoming strike and struggled to hold it back but was slowly getting pushed back. Naruto wasn't being idle at this. Hang on Vert-chan, strike chain. He took aim with the X-Buster and quickly releases a chain with a hook on its end to latch onto Arfoire's spear, then pulled at it to JRK the spear away from Vert, who quickly retaliated. Silhouette spear. She summoned the green magic circle next to her for the large wooden spiraled spear to shoot out and strike Arfoire. Here I come. Critical edge. Neptune rushed up to Arfoire and attacked with a diagonal slash, then followed it up with an uppercut to launch her into the air before moving at blurring speed for a final slash. Naruto held up the X-Buster, which was humming with energy channeled into it. It all ends with this full-charged shot. He fired a large blue energy shot which is accompanied by 2 red energy torrents as they swirled around it. The blast sent Arfoire flying till she smashed into a boulder and collapsed to her knees. "Good damn you all!" Arfoire growled in anger. Cliché as it may sound, but this battle is for Iffy, Naruto and Ranran, said Vert with a smile. Neptune spoke up. Wait Vert, it seems like you're forgetting 4 others here. Do we matter less, Lady Vert? Asked Kompa rather sadly. Oh, that wasn't my intention. I was just giving extra praise to those 3, said Vert in a placating manner. Don't take it too seriously. I'm glad you got your powers back, said Neptune. So what are going to do with Arfoire? Let's get as much information as we can out of her. I'm sure that Loi is behind all of this. We can't be too sure of that. I get the feeling that Arfoire had something to do with what happened at La Station and now Leanbox, said Naruto thoughtfully. It's all just a matter of viewing the scope of things, said K9. Arfoire scoffed in response. Do you really think you can get any information out of me? Considering that we beat you, the odds aren't in your favor, said If. For now at least, but next time things will be different. Farewell. Arfoire unleashed a bright flash of light, forcing the others to look away before dissipating to reveal that she was gone. She's gone, said Neptune in mild annoyance. She's that good at running away aside from fighting. Well, she won't be able to run away the next time we meet her, said Vert. For now, let's head on back for some rest. This fight really tuckered us out. Naruto had undone the Megamerge and was holding a tired Gatchman in his arms and Harassman tucked inside his hood. Kampa took notice of something and quickly called out to the others, "Oh. Nep Nep. Naru. Just a second." "What's the matter?" asked Neptune. "I found something, take a look." Kampa picked something from the ground and held it out for everyone to see. The object was familiar to all except for Vert. "That's another one of the key fragments," said Naruto in surprise. "But where did it come from?" asked If. "Allow me to explain," a familiar voice spoke from the fragment. "That voice is that you Histy?" asked Neptune. "It has been quite a while, Neptune." "It's also nice to see you all as well," said Histoire. "So you're Histy," said Vert surprise. "So why was this key fragment here?" asked Neptune. "This is the one that Arfoire was carrying and dropped. I believe that she feared that you were searching for the fragments and kept one with her," Histoire explained. "Then we pretty much hit two birds with one stone. We helped Vert-chan reclaim her power and got a key fragment while we were at it." Naruto shrugged his shoulders at the statement. "Maybe so, but I must warn you all that Arfoire's true power is the power of copy." "What do you mean?" asked Kampa confusedly. "I see I may have gotten my power back, but she would have a copy of it with her still," said Vert in understanding and a bit worried. "Come to think of it, I heard her mutter something about a copy when Ranran intercepted her," said If thoughtfully. "Were you too aware of this?" asked Naruto towards the biometals. "In a way yes, but we thought she had lost the ability to do so," said Model X. "This would most likely become a problem in the future," said Model Z. "That's putting it lightly. If she can copy a CPU's power, then the others are susceptible to having their powers copied as well," said K9, making Naruto frown at the implication. "It seems my time is up, please continue to search for the remaining key fragments," said Histoire before her voice faded away. "I can't hear her anymore," said Kampa. "But the info we got is important. We now know a bit more about Arfoire than before," said If. "Indeed, I will be more wary from now on." Vert reverted from her HDD form with Neptune doing the same. "So, what will you all be up to now?" "We'll be heading back to Plankton, then head for Lo-E," If responded. Neptune whined at that. "Do we have to go home right now? Let's hang around for a bit longer and have some fun. Right now, collecting the key fragments is a top priority right now." "Geez, you're so committed, Iffy." "So, what will you be doing now, Vert-chan?" asked Naruto curiously. "There are quite a number of tasks to handle after all this, like keeping watch on the Overlord worship and the enemy discs," said Vert a bit sheepishly, "but I'll definitely come and see both you and Iffy." "So, why are you here with us?" Neptune, who is currently watching Vert, glomp If rather tightly. "It can't be helped, I couldn't stop my to see Iffy and where's Naruto," said Vert, looking around for the spiky-haired blonde. "But, what about your work?" asked If. "I'm having Yvoir and Ranran take care of it, pretty sure they don't mind." Neptune's sweat dropped at that. "I almost felt like I heard screams of agony all the way from Leanbox." "Lady Vert, you're squeezing too tightly, help." If didn't know how long she could stay conscious and was about to black out when the doors suddenly opened up and Naruto came inside with his Digimon. "Hey everyone, just got back from the guild and Vert-chan, you're here so soon," said Naruto, blinking in surprise upon seeing the CPU of Leanbox. "Indeed I am, hope you don't mind that I accompany you and Iffy," Vert released it from her hug much to the latter's relief. "Of course not, I'm okay with you coming with us. The more the merrier, like the saying goes," said Naruto with a foxy grin. Next thing he knew was that he was glomped by Vert with his face being pressed into her melons. "Mao, you're just too cute to resist. I'm definitely going keep you and Iffy with me 24/7, said Vert with a cute giggle. "I gotta get free, but it feels so soft." Naruto was slowly falling into a state of bliss to the point of almost falling asleep in comfort. Neptune was sitting on the couch next to Harassman and Gatchman with her arms crossed and was pouting at the sight. I don't know whether I should be happy that Vert is joining us or annoyed that she's going to be taking a lot of Naruto's attention from me. The Digimon wisely chose not to answer that question. "Thank you for accompanying me, Naruto," said Vert, who was carrying a pair of shopping bags in hand as she walks alongside said blonde. "It's no big deal, I was just stocking up on stuff from the shop when I met you. Plus I didn't have anything serious doing before heading over to Kampa-chan's place," said Naruto with his Digimon perched on his shoulder and hoodie. "So is there anything you can tell me about the game you just bought except spoilers?" Apparently it is a remake of a popular RPG in the past years and had received positive reviews. "I saw the trailers and knew that I just had to get it," said Vert with her eyes sparkling in excitement. "Now you really got me interested, maybe I could play it sometime," said Naruto thoughtfully. "You could play along with me since it has a multiplayer feature." This game requires research," said Gatchman, ready to search the net, but Naruto put a stop to it. "Not so fast, I prefer playing the game first to get a proper handle on things. Plus, chances of bumping into spoilers are high and could pretty much dampen one's interest. Something Kiba tells me." "And I agree," said Naruto. Vert was nodding in agreement. How true. They finally arrived at Kampa's home and made their way to the living room where they saw Kampa along with Neptune and If before calling out to them in greeting. "Hey guys, we're back," said Naruto with a wave. "Hey Naru, what were you guys up to?" asked Kampa. "Well, I was restocking on supplies, then met Vert along the way. I escorted her to buy a new game before heading over here." "Well, it's a good thing you restocked, we got information that conversation was in Loi at the Basilicom," said If. "Then it's a good thing that I bought this." Vert reached into one of her shopping bags and took out a pair of red-rimmed glasses before putting it on. "I'm so glad that I finally got the Tsundere Otaku glasses set for moments like these." "Oh yeah, I remember reading about that on your diary," said Neptune. "How do I look? Quite stunning, am I right?" If doesn't really know what exactly to say to this. The fact that she believes that glasses make perfect disguises without changing her main outfit makes me think that goddesses in general suck at stealth, said K9 with a deadpan expression. "It mostly works since people would assume that she's cosplaying as a goddess," said Model X. "It also shows that humans can be gullible. I even have an extra set for Naruto." Vert reached into the bag again. "It's okay Vert-chan, there's no need for that," Naruto tried to refuse. "Don't be so cutely modest, I'm sure it will look good on you." Vert brought out a pair of black-rimmed glasses and put on Naruto, who pushed it up to make it fit better, unaware that he triggered an effect. "See, you look so smart with them on." "She's right, it suits Naru-sensei nicely," said Kampa. She blinked in confusion at what she just said. "Why did you address Naruto-sensei as a teacher?" asked If before realizing what she just said. Me too." Naruto looked at them in confusion, pushing up the glasses again since they kept sliding down. Why are you all addressing me as a sensei?" Neptune giggled. "You two are so weird, calling Naruto sensei like that, huh?" "Now who's being weird, but still why are we saying that?" If smirked. Gatchman frowned before realizing something and called out to Naruto, "Hey Naruto sensei, take off your glasses." "Okay," Naruto took the glasses. "Now what?" "Everyone, try saying his name." "Naru/Naruto," said everyone before realizing what just happened. "We aren't addressing him as sensei now, how come?" asked Kampa in confusion. "I thought as much. It appears that whenever Naruto puts on the glasses, it makes everyone address him as a sensei," Gatchman theorized. "Wow, I never knew Naruto has an ability like that," said Harassman in wonder. "Surely that can't be true." Naruto put on the glasses. "Well, it sort of makes sense Naruto-sensei," said If. "See? I'm doing it again." "What a dumb power," said K9 at the ridiculousness of it all. Vert let out a squee and glomped Naruto while rubbing her cheeks against his. "You just became a lot cuter than before Naruto-sensei, you can be my tutor any day." Neptune pouted at this. "Alright Vert, put Naruto-sensei down so we can get ready to go to Loi, and take off the glasses while you're at it." "Aw, just one more hour." "That's too long." All this because of a pair of glasses, said Kampa with an awkward smile. Can't deny never having a dull moment when with them, said If. I hope you have a warmer Kampa cause things are going to be chilly over at Loi. Eventually Vert finally let go of Naruto and the glasses were put away, thankfully enough. In the next day, the group set out for the Sky Harbor and soon arrived at Loi where they learnt is completely different compared to Plankton, Last Station and Leanbox. Snow covers the entire region as far as the eyes can see with snowflakes constantly drifting down from the clouds above. Iffy, it's FFFFF freezing here, said Kampa, her body shivering from the cold. Yup, Loi is perennially covered in snow. Here's your warmer, said If before handing said warmer to Kampa, who took it gratefully. Thank you, are you okay Naruto? Kampa turned to Naruto who seemed to be looking elsewhere. Naruto? Huh? Naruto snapped out of whatever trance he was in before turning to the others. What is it? Well, you weren't listening when I was suggesting that we could make a snowman while we're here, said Neptune with a pout. Besides that, is there something on your mind? Asked If. Not really, just recalling a few things back home when it was snowing, said Naruto. Okay, just checking if you're doing okay in this weather. I'm good, guess these clothes are keeping me warm. That's good to hear. If suddenly felt arms wrap around her from behind and looked back to see Vert cuddling her. LL Lady Vert. Oh, don't mind me, had to make the difficult choice of which warmer I wanted to use and I chose you, said Vert with a smile. Well, that was fun, let's leave those two lovebirds and get going, said Neptune cheerfully before grabbing Naruto's and pulling him along. Take it easy, Nep-chan, said Naruto, albeit used to it by now. Hey, wait for me, Kampa followed after them. After being momentarily sidetracked, the group made their way to the city, which appears to have taken on a fantasy theme by the looks of the colorful buildings and the assortment of rainbow sparkles in the air around them. They were also able to locate the basilicom after getting directions from some of the residents. Bert felt that something needed to be brought into attention when they entered the building. Are you sure that it's okay that we simply enter Loi's basilicom? Asked Bert. If blinked in mild confusion. What do you mean? Come to think of it, things were fine at Plankton's basilicom, but then Last Stations rudely kicked us out. Nep-chan and I got poisoned over at Leanbox's. What's to say that this one wouldn't be similar or might actually be worse compared to the previous ones, said Naruto thoughtfully. Now that Nara mentions it, I'm kinda feeling worried about this, said Kampa. Point taken, we'll just need to be on guard while we're here, said If. Always at the ready, said Neptune cheerfully. They ended the conversation upon noticing someone approach them. It appears to be a girl with long sandy blonde hair and wearing a white frilled headband and two big hair clips. She also wears a red maid uniform with a white apron and a dark brown bow with a square in the center at her neck. The maid bowed to them in greeting. Welcome to Loi's basilicom, have you come to see Lady Whiteheart? Yes, we have a number of questions to ask her, Kampa affirmed. Very well then, allow me to introduce myself. I am Financier, the Chamberlain of Lady Whiteheart. Allow me to prepare something warm for you all since it must have been cold outside. Neptune perked up at that. Oh, then I'll have a nice warm bowl of stewed pudding. I'd be happy if I could get a cup of hot chocolate, said Kampa. If followed up, I'll have milk tea. I'll have the same, but a Darjeeling pure blend for the tea leaves. Vert was next. Naruto went last. I'll have green tea with rice crackers and 2 cups of warm milk for my Digimon. Financier's sweat dropped at the requests. This isn't a restaurant. Naruto and the others were later guided by Financier through the hallways into the main room where they would meet with the goddess of Loi. Sure enough, she was there waiting for them. She has the appearance of a young girl with short brown hair which has a fringe parted to the left and a petite figure. She wears a large and puffy white hat with ornate blue lining and brown patterns on it on her head. Her attire consists of a white top dress which seems to reach down to her knees. This dress is sleeveless at the top and has much chocolate brown lining around that area. She seems to wear a brown belt over this dress so as to keep it form-fitting, and her final part of her outfit is excessively long and thick white and brown detached sleeves which nearly go up to her shoulders and have large frills protruding out of the back of them. Neptune stepped forward with a cheerful wave. Hi there Lady Whiteheart, I'm Neptune and this here are. Cut the introductions, I know you all very well, said Whiteheart. You do? Asked Naruto with a small frown, the sentence is already raising alarms in his head. You mean we're well known around here? Asked If. Of course you're known as followers of Momus, that is, said Whiteheart, surprising them. Here too, Kampa gasped in shock. Everyone come out, capture these heretics. Whiteheart declared. The doors soon burst open and the guards of the Basilicom came bursting in with weapons in hand. Looks like you're cornered. Are you serious, Blanc? Vert asked with the goddess's true name. Dead serious, and while I'm at it, I'll end your misery here too, Vert. Oh my, looks like my disguise is uncovered. I don't know if I've said this before, but there are major parts that give you away, said Neptune. What do we do? Asked Harassman worriedly. Well, we can't fight here, said If. Then we run, Naruto stated as he looked around sharply, adrenaline pumping into his body. But the exit behind us is blocked by the guards, Neptune pointed out. Naruto smirked. One of the early lessons Irika-sensei taught me is that when you can't find an exit or it's being barred, you make your own. Something I'm good at thanks to being a prankster. And how are you going to do that here? Asked If. Like this. Naruto rushed over to scooped up Kampa in a bridal carry with the girl letting out a cute squeak. Follow me, he took off, running past Blanc who gasped in shock. Naru, we're heading for that stained glass panel, said Kampa. I know, it's our way out of here, so hold on tight. Naruto responded. The Pinkette braced for impact right before Naruto leapt at the glass panel, smashing through it and landing on the ground with fragments of glass falling around them before he continued to run. What? Said Blanc in disbelief. Not what I expected, but I'll take it, come on. If followed after them by leaping through the opening. Here we go. Neptune quickly joined them. I've always wanted to something like this from the movies. Here I come, said Vert excitedly before following them through the hole. I can't believe they got away, Blanc growled in anger. Go after them. Yes, my lady. Guards left the room to go in pursuit of the group. Unknown to any of them is that someone had been listening in. I better get moving, hopefully I can get to them first. Naruto and the others kept running as fast as they could to get away from the Basilicom, with Gatchman leading them through the snowy landscape until they found themselves in an area which the Digimon identified to be the low-E snowfield, where they slowed down to rest a bit from their run. I wonder if we're safe now, asked Neptune. If shook her head in response. No, they're bound to catch up soon. We need to reach the city and hide there. And Naruto? Yes, asked the male blonde. How long are you going to keep carrying Kampa? Naruto stood there blankly before looking down at Kampa in his arms, with the girl blushing beet red at being carried so closely by a male. Oh, sorry about that, Kampa-chan. He put her down with a look of apology. It's okay, it was nice of you though. Thank you, said Kampa, feeling a bit disappointed at not being carried for a bit longer. The group trekked through the snowfield as fast as they could, but were constantly having encounters with monsters which Gatchman was quick to identify them to be Frozen Skull, Violent Good Girl, Gold Lizard and T-Pad. They would also run into low-E soldiers who were patrolling the area and would attempt to capture due to the low-E Basilicom ousting them as enemies. Harassman's treasure hunter ability helped to find some plans along the way, which involved creating Hero Drink C, Silver Anklet and Nep Bull. Brrr, it's so cold. I'm growing icicles on my nose, said Neptune as she shivered. I'm getting kinda sleepy too. How long do we have to keep going? Asked Kampa tiredly. We won't be long, the city shouldn't be far from here, said If. This is quite troubling. We will be needing allies with how the Basilicom treats us as enemies, said Vert with a small frown. Guess finding the key fragments isn't as easy as I thought, Neptune murmured sadly. Maybe so, but we do know one thing. What is it? That the low-E Basilicom is backing conversation. With them calling us messengers of Momus, no doubt that they were setting us up, said If. Naruto crossed arms with a small frown. I don't know. There's something we're missing about all this. What do you mean? Asked Kampa. Gatchman spoke up from Naruto's shoulder. we must remember that conversation aka Arfwar has the ability to copy the powers of a goddess. The possibility that she could have driven away the real White Heart and took her place to send the Basilicom against us cannot be overlooked. Now that you mention it, she did steal Lady Vert's power and was able to use HDD to beat us before till we were able to get it back, said If thoughtfully. So, the Blanc we met at the Basilicom could be Arfwar in disguise. This certainly bodes ill for us, said Vert with a frown. There they are. The group turned to see that the Loi guardsmen had caught up with them much to their frustration. They found us, said Kampa. I guess we shouldn't be surprised, considering that this is their homeland and they would be most familiar with the landscape, said Gatchman. Put your hands behind your head and get on the ground, said a second guard. No way. The ground is cold and wet and mushy, I don't want to get dirty. Neptune protested. Not to mention that we're accused for something we never did, Vert added. Just give up already, guard number 1 demanded. You intend on fighting us? Asked If. Not us. Guard number 2 took out a familiar disc and held it in front of him. Go dragon, I choose you. The disc flashed brightly before dimming to reveal a giant bipedal dragon with scales and large wings. They're using enemy discs, said Kampa. Just where do these things keep coming from? If murmured to herself. Well, we'll get serious too. I choose you, Nep Nep. Pika. Neptune immediately went into her HDD form and stood at the ready with her katana. Vert looked at If rather intently as if trying to get her to do something without being vocal about it. Is there something you want me to do? Asked If confusedly. I don't know, maybe a command from my Iffy. Vert suggested. Oh, I get it now, I choose you, Lady Vert. Now that's what I've been waiting for. Vert happily went into her HDD form. Now everyone was ready to do battle and hold on, something's wrong with this picture and apparently, they were quick to notice that as Kampa spoke up. Where's Naru? Asked the Pinkette. They looked around and saw the blonde behind them squatting down and drawing swirls on the snow-covered ground with a finger as a small black cloud hovered above his head and was raining down on him. Naru, what are you doing over there? Nobody chose me, guess I'm not needed, Naruto mumbled, making the others flinch at the obvious message in the sentence. Don't worry, Naruto, we choose you, said Harassman with utmost sincerity. Gatchman nodded in agreement. That's right, go forth and defeat your enemy. So I guess it will have to do, let's go Model X. Naruto held out his hand for the biometal to float into his hand. It was in the heat of the moment, I'm sure they didn't mean it, said Model X. Okay, Mega Merge. Biolink established, MEGA system online. Naruto was engulfed in a dome of light before it dissipated to reveal that he had transformed into Mega Man Model X and had the X-Buster at the ready. I'll take point. Naruto positioned himself in front of the others before rapidly firing energy shots at the ancient dragon with the X-Buster. The draconic monster roared in annoyance and charged at Naruto to attack with a slash attack of its claws. Naruto quickly leapt into the air while charging up the Buster charge shot. He fired a green energy bullet at its head, making stumble backwards in pain. Allow me to assist. Bert twirled her spear and summoned a green magic circle next to her Silhet spear. A large wooden spiraled spear shot out and struck the ancient dragon, Los Delphinus. If called out with a wave of her hand, a blue magic circle appeared underneath the monster before a pillar of energy shot out to strike it strongly several times. The ancient dragon had enough and countered by flapping its wings to launch a powerful gust to send them flying backwards. If and Kampa tumbled, but Naruto along with Neptune and Vert recovered in midair while the former skidded to a stop on the ground. Let's see you handle this. Cross combo. Neptune dashed towards the ancient dragon and slashed up to 5 hits with the 6th to propel herself into the air, then striking at its head with the final slash to slam it to the ground, Canestra slash. Vert crouched slightly before disappearing in a flash to reappear right behind the monster where there was a moment of stillness, then numerous slashes began appearing all over its body. Ancient Dragon got back to its feet and still seemed capable of fighting as it opened its mouth to launch a large orange sphere of energy towards the ground. That's a high explosion attack, watch out. Gatchman called out urgently. I got this, Gia shield. Naruto positioned himself in front of the group and summoned a bluish stone shield to block the incoming explosive attack before switching to offense, Yammar option. He summoned mechanical dragonflies to orbit around him before mentally commanding them to attack. They opened fire at the monster. Gonna need your help on this one, Gatchman. Activating Digivolution. A pillar of light fell upon Gatchman. Initiating Digivolution. Gatchman digivolved to do Gatchman. The now champion level Digimon stood at the ready while Harassman went to be with If and Compa as support. He saw Ancient Dragon about to use X-Gust and quickly countered, not so fast, Dugach Buster. Dugachman held his hands forward close together as the pointers detached themselves from his body and hovered around the hands at 4 angles as blue energy gathered at the hands before firing a powerful blast at the monster to inflict great damage. Here I come, critical edge. She rushed up to attack with 2 diagonal slashes at the legs to force the monster to kneel, then jumped back before moving at blurring speed for a final slash. The ancient dragon went berserk as it attacked in random directions before stomping towards Compa and If with intent to grab them. Naruto dashed forward to push the out of the way and ended up being grabbed instead. The monster roared in his face and began to squeeze him in its grip. Hey hey hey. I'm skinny enough as it is. Acid burst. He took aim with the X-Buster to fire a glob of green acid into the dragon face, causing it to roar in pain and throw him far from where they were and lost sight of him. Naruto. Compa called out in worry with Harassman feeling the same way. You have some nerve to do that, said Dugachman, Sonic Slash. 2 pointers detached from Gachman's hips and combined into a sword with a blade of blue energy protracting in between the gap before unleashing a powerful slash at the monster. Vert glared at the monster. How dare you treat my cutie that way? Feel the wrath of my EXE drive, Spiral Break. She dashed forward at high speed to lance through the forest whale, then she turned around and unleashed a barrage of move attacks from multiple angles consecutively with only green flashes being seen. Vert was then seen a fair distance above the monster. May your sins be cleansed. She threw the spear at the monster, triggering an explosion of green energy around it. The ancient dragon was unable to continue and disappeared in a burst of pixels. The Loi guards flinched from the glare by the girls for what had happened and wisely made the decision to temporarily retreat from the pursuit. We need to get out of here, said If urgently. But what about Naruto? Asked Harassman worriedly. We'll find him, but we have to leave before any more guards show up. I hope he's okay, said a concerned Compa. I'm sure he'll be fine, this is Naruto after all, said Neptune assuredly, mostly to herself. I certainly hope so. There's still some games I'd like to play with him, said Vert. The group hesitantly left the area to continue their escape with the additional objective of finding the separated blonde ninja aspirant. Meanwhile, Naruto let out a groan and opened his eyes before sitting up to rub the back of his head to ease it of the pain. He looked around to find himself in some sort of underground ice cavern, then he looked up to see a hole above him with sunlight shining through it. What happened? The last thing I remember was being thrown by that monster during the fight with Nep-chan and the others, then I blacked out and I hit something, Naruto muttered to himself. Model X emerged from his pocket to hover up to him. Naruto, are you okay? I'm fine now. Any idea where we are? It appears that we smashed through a mountain wall into an underground cave. It would have been worse if you hadn't mega-merged with me. Yeah, lucky me. Naruto got up to his feet and flipped open his G-pad. K9, can you contact Iffy-chan and the others? No dice, been doing that since you were conked out, but something about this mountain seems to be interfering with the communications. Even the map isn't working, said K9 with a frown. Well, the hole in the ceiling is too high to climb up to. Might as well find another way out of this place and regroup with the others. We already have enough problems as it is. Then I suggest we start by going through that tunnel over there. Model Z gestured to said tunnel on their left. Then let's get a move on. Naruto began his trek through the tunnels, all the while keeping an eye out for an exit or monsters for that matter. He kept checking on the map but kept getting static, much to his frustration. The blonde began to notice something rather strange. He hasn't been running into any monsters at all, which even K9 and the biometals found very odd. They eventually exited the tunnel to find themselves in a large cavernous room with the entire place covered in ice, and there was an underground lake, and at the center of it appears to be some sort of statue depicting 2 women embracing. each other with one of them being taller. Naruto approached the statue and noticed yet another oddity which he had to be vocal about this time. Guys, I don't know if it's just me but I don't think this ice is well ice cause it doesn't really feel that cold compared to outside, Naruto pointed out. Model X and Z floated over to one of the icicles and examined it. You're right, this isn't ice but rather pure crystal, said Model Z. But then, what could have caused this to happen, asked Model X curiously. Suddenly the whole cavern began to quake, causing bits of crystal to fall from above. Naruto heard the sounds of something cracking and traced the sounds to see cracks of light appearing all over the statue which suddenly exploded outwardly with a bright flash of light, forcing him to cross his arms and shut his eyes to shield himself. Naruto opened his eyes to gaze upon something amazing. Before him are the two women who were supposed to be statues but are actually alive and floating in the air before him. They appear to be the fusion of both human and machine. The elderly one has dark blue skin with a pale blue claw mark on her right eye. She has dark blue and white color scheme with bronze highlights. She also wears a strange headdress with a large wheel attached at the back. The younger one has pale blue skin with a blue skin-tight clothing and silver metal armor. Her headdress has an inscription of a language unknown to him. Beneath her visor is a dark blue claw mark on her left eye and a wheel floated next to her. Who or what are they? Asked Naruto, staring at the mechanical women who were staring back. He was getting the vibe that they're sisters. I don't know, we've never seen them before even during our time with Vent, said Model Z. Be careful Naruto, we have no idea what their intentions are, said Model X with caution. No need to tell me twice, Naruto stood, body completely at whatever action they would do next. The sisters stared at him very intently as if they were looking into his very soul which made him feel rather nervous. Suddenly the elder sister waved a hand towards Naruto, enshrouding him in an ebony black aura. Naruto was alarmed at the action as he felt something akin to a hand wrap around his heart and was slowly squeezing it. What the dash? What's happening to me? K9 scanned Naruto's status and was alarmed at what he's seeing. She afflicted some sort of curse on you. Your HP is reducing and you're done if it hits 0. I don't think it will allow you to mega merge. What? What do I do? Asked Naruto desperately. Most likely option would be to defeat them, hopefully it would undo the curse cast, said Model Z. But you must hurry. Model X urged. As if I don't have enough problems already. Naruto summoned Kansho and Byakuya into his hands and got ready to fight for his life. He tried to focus on both but something seems to prevent him from doing so towards the elder sister. He snapped into upon seeing the younger sister approach to attack as she launched her will to attack him. Naruto jumped out of the way and flung Byakuya towards her which she dodged with a twirl like a dancer before attacking with her floating wheel again, so he held Kansho in front of him with both hands to block it and push away from himself. Charger. Naruto rushed up to the younger sister and attacked rapidly with his twin short swords. His opponent was using her will as a shield to deflect the incoming attacks before suddenly pushing himself and retaliating with an offensive strike. The blonde quickly crossed the swords in front of him to block the attack, gritting his teeth from the force as sparks flew from the wheel grinding against the blades until he used his strength to move it to the side. Trace on. Blue circuits appeared on Naruto's arms from the shoulders to his fingertips which could even be seen through his clothes, and now, Blade Raid. He proceeded to throw both swords at the sister, then projected copies of the short swords and threw them as well for a volley of bladed projectiles. The younger sister saw the incoming bladed projectile and resorted to utilizing dance-like moves to evade them whilst deflecting a few with kicks before thrusting her hands forwards to launch a blast of ice which struck the short swords, freezing them, then flinging her will to shatter them and striking Naruto at the same time to knock him to the ground. Naruto struggled to his feet while gritting his teeth as the curse is beginning to get to him but refused to give up. He held his hand out to call on the Sunlight Heart with the lance appearing. VERYYYY's Sunlight Heart. It disassembled itself to release the self-contained golden energy within and arranged its core components in the shape of a large arrow-shaped energy blade, Sunlight Slasher. The tip at the end of the lance's handle opened up to release energy to propel him towards the younger sister, who twirled out of the way, but he wasn't as he drove lance into the ground and spun round its axis to land a double into her torso, knocking her back. The younger sister frowned at this and began to gather energy with the wheel spinning above her. Naruto sensed that she was about to launch a powerful attack and braced himself by manipulating the energy of the lance to increase its width. Upon gathering the required energy, the younger sister dashed at Naruto, who quickly held out the broadside of the lance as a makeshift shield right before she began to wail at him with the wheel with greater force than before, pushing him back with every impact before finishing her combo by performing a pirouette. "You need to hurry, you don't have much longer," said K9 urgently. "Then I better swch things up." Naruto sent away the sunlight heart and now held the Monadu in both hands. He suddenly had a vision where he saw the younger sister launch him into the air with a flip kick, then encased him in a block of ice and flung her will to shatter it off him. The sister lashed out with the flip kick to strike Naruto, only for him to be engulfed in smoke which dissipated to wooden log. Inasmuch to their shock, she felt another kick to the side and was knocked away with Naruto landing nearby. He swiped his hand over the screen of the Monadu to change from blue to light blue with a change in the kanji, Monadu speed. His feet glowed light blue as he rushed up to the younger sister and attacked with the barrage of slashes at high speed before knocking her back with a final strike. Naruto prepared for another assault when he was suddenly overwhelmed with vertigo and went down on one knee. He realized that the curse was taking hold and fought against the feeling as he struggled to his feet and displaying his refusal to give up and die. He got ready to attack once more in spite of the bleak situation when he was enshrouded in a green aura and felt any damage being healed as well as the curse dispelling. Naruto looked up to see the sisters hovering before him with smiles on their faces with no signs of aggression. "Well done, you have passed the test," said the elder sister. "Huh? You mean you were testing me? I thought you were trying to kill me," said Naruto in disbelief. "Our apologies, we wanted to see if you were worthy of our power," said the younger sister. "Just who are you?" "Allow me to introduce my sister and I. My name is Nyx and my older sister is Styria. We are the twin sisters of Shiva," said Nyx. "Shiva, I think I've heard of that name from somewhere before, something about a powerful deity wielding the powers of ice," said Model X thoughtfully. "Well, my name's Naruto Uzumaki. So why did you give me the test, especially without telling me first?" "I honestly thought you were trying to kill me," said Naruto with a small frown. "You see, we have been here for many years and waited for one to come and prove themselves worthy of our allegiance and wielding our power. For a long time, none came till you appeared, and merely looking into your eyes told us you were more than worthy, but we wanted to make sure with a trial by combat," Styria explained. "Okay, I think I got the gist of things. Could you help me find a way out of here? I need to get back to Neptunia and the others as we got separated along the way." "Very well then, but take this first." Nyx held out what appears to be a necklace with an ice crystal on it. "You can summon us by channeling energy into the crystal, and now for the way out." "Let us begin, sister." "Indeed," said Styria as she and Nyx floated around each other before performing a fusion in a flash of light which dissipated to reveal a motorcycle in their place. Naruto's jaw hung open at the sight of it. "Whoa. When you think you've seen everything, something new appears," said K9 in wonder. "Hop on, we should be able to get you out of here much quicker this way," said Nyx. Naruto climbed onto the bike and revved several times to listen to the engine growl with a smirk on his face. He may have never seen bikes in Konoha, but he came to love the concept due to having seen many in Gamindustry so far. He looked towards the tunnel which he hadn't gone through yet, then he placed a foot on the ground and performed a 180 spin to face it. "Let's ride," said Naruto excitedly as he rolled on the throttle as the tires screeched on the crystalline floor before taking off with a 5-second wheelie into the tunnel. Naruto was getting used to the speed of the bike as well as learning how to turn with the Shiva sisters teaching along the way. He also thought back on the video games with the racing genre which he played with Neptune and if to remember the tutorials played back then. Upon exiting the tunnel into the next cavern, he looked ahead to see multiple ice stalagmites scattered about. Naruto turned from left to right to avoid collision with the icy obstacles. Naruto saw a large broken stalagmite blocking a tunnel entrance with no way around save for the gap underneath it. He hit the rear brakes hard and tilted to make the bike slide sideways to go underneath the broken stalagmite into the tunnel before righting himself and the bike back up. "Beware, Naruto, the stalactites overhead threaten to fall on us," Styria alerted their new summoner. Don't worry, I got this. Naruto took off a hand off the handlebars to summon Sunlight Heart into it. Sure enough, the ice stalactites proceeded to drop off the ceiling towards them, but he was ready to counter. Sunlight Flare. He swung the lance multiple times with the tip opening up to launch compressed crescent waves of energy to strike the falling stalactites and shattering into small harmless pieces. Sunlight Slasher. Naruto swung the lance as it opened up while emitting yellow energy and elongated like a sharp WHP to slice through the stalagmites up ahead. There was a pit up ahead which is too long for Naruto to make the bike jump over. The blonde made a daring move by having it ride parallel to the tunnel walls. Impressive. I'm starting to find it hard to believe that this is your first time riding a motorcycle, said Nyx. It really is. My guess it's because I'm applying my training from the Ninja Academy into this, said Naruto admittedly. He had learnt the basic movements from Iruka and further mastered it while performing pranks and needed to avoid either being found out or getting caught. They just exited the tunnel when they came upon an underground river floating with a mildly storm which worried Naruto and was about to apply the brakes to avoid falling into it and search for another route when Styria spoke to him. Do not worry, Naruto, as the twin sisters of Shiva, our powers of ice are quite unfathomable, as you are about to find out. So, continue onwards, said Styria assuredly. Okay, I'm counting on you too. Naruto rolled on the throttle to accelerate and ride off the ledge. The tires were enshrouded in an lazulan blue aura which suddenly froze the surface of the river and continued to do so as he sped forwards, forming solid footing to avoid sinking, much to his surprise. Whoa, this is totes cool. He swerved to evade the boulders sticking out of the flowing stream and launching off multiple ice floes floating in the streams as makeshift ramps till he reached the end of the tunnel and now found himself out of the mountain. I'm finally out of there, said Naruto in relief. It has certainly been a long time since we saw the outside world, hasn't it? Asked Nyx. Indeed it has. I believe you wish to reunite with you friends, said Styria. Yeah, just need to figure out a way to locate them, Naruto affirmed. K9 spoke up. I got that covered. The battle pet system has a GPS feature which enables you to locate whenever your pets are. I'll direct you to where they are. No doubt they're with Neptunia and the others. Let's get moving. Naruto rolled on the throttle and took off at high speed to reunite with his companions. Neptune let out a groan as she held her katana at the ready along with Vert as they're in their HDD form. Take this, you bucket of bolts, a voice yelled out in rage. And let's not forget that Blanc is with them in her HDD form, which has her appearing as a young girl with a petite and slim figure. Her eyes are a crimson red and her hair is a sky blue color, and is of short length, barring her bangs which reach down to her stomach. Her attire consists of a tight battle suit which is white and has minor touches of blue lining. The top itself appears as a swimsuit-like armor with the sleeves being detached and reaching all the way to her shoulder, a pair of gauntlets being equipped on both of them and mechanical-like devices connecting the elbow forearm of the sleeve. To make sense of all this, we need to look back. Neptune and Co. were still on the run from the guards when they met a girl called CyberConnect 2 who is from the other dimension like mages. And Tekken. She helped them to escape to meet up with the person who requested her aid, revealing to be Financier, much to their shock. They were wary at first but reluctantly followed her to a hidden base of a resistance force being led by Blanc, shocking them yet again. She revealed that conversation stole her power and took over Loi, forcing her into hiding and working on taking back control. That was when the fake Blanc appeared to attack them with Killikeen and threatened to hurt the citizens. Apparently it was the wrong thing to say as Blanc got extremely pissed and went into her HDD form to tear the mecha monster apart, with Neptune and Vert joining in to help, which brings us to now. Ugh, and we still need to look for Naruto, Neptune groaned. I feel the same way. Let us deal with this matter quickly then begin our search for him, said Vert calmly with an undertone of concern for the blonde. Will you two quit dawdling and smash this tin can already, said Blanc in annoyance as she brandished her plasma axe. The duo were about to comply when they heard something which was getting louder. What's that sound? Asked Compa confusedly. I recognize that sound, it's that of a bike, said If. No sooner she said that did something fly over their heads. They looked up to see the bike and their eyes widen in recognition at who was riding on it. That's Cowabunga. Naruto whooped in excitement as he slammed the bike into the identified Killikeen, rolling the throttle to make the wheels grind against the mecha monster before getting off to land on the ground with a 180 spin to face it with a smirk. That has to be one of my best entrances yet, and I haven't even graduated from the academy yet. Naruto, you're okay, said Kompa joyfully. Yeah, but where did you get a bike? Asked If. I'll explain later, let me help deal with this pile of scrap first, said Naruto before turning towards the Killikeen and revving the engine, ready to fight. It's great to see you're okay Naruto, now I'm really psyched to win, said Neptune with a smile. Cross combo. She rushed at the mecha monster and slashed up to 5 hits with the 6th launching it into the air then leaping after it with the final slash to slam it hard to the ground. The Killikeen rose and retaliated with a swing of its spiked club at Neptune but a green blur intercepted its attack, revealing to be Vert blocking with her spear before pushing it back with a look of determination. I'm just as I relieved, though I wish to hear what happened to you during the separation after this. Rainy Ratnapara. She struck the Killikeen several times before knocking it back with a powerful move attack, Silhet Spear. She twirled her spear to summon the green magic circle next to her for a large wooden spiraled spear to shoot out and inflict additional damage. Let's do this, Frosty Wheelie. Naruto rapidly accelerated as the tires were encased in icy spikes and performed a wheelie with the front ice spiked while grinding against the Killikeen before dropping to the ground where he went into a 180 stop pie spin to attack with the spinning rear wheel then ending the combo by performing 360 drift spins to land consecutive strikes before skidding away from any retaliation from the machine. Not bad, starting to get the idea of what the fuss was all about when they spoke of you, said Blanc before scowling at the machine. I can see that a piece of SHT like you is still working, I'll remedy that soon enough. Tanzrin Trombe, she proceeded to spin rapidly on her feet like a top while striking consecutively with her plasma axe before ending the barrage by using the momentum to perform a downward strike which caused the ground to shake a bit upon impact. Wow, she's got quite a mouth on her, said K9 with a quirked eyebrow. Gotta admit that this is a first for me, said Naruto with a sweat drop before snapping back into focus and rolled on the throttle to charge at the enemy ice ramp. The Shiva sisters conjured a ramp out of ice for Naruto to launch off with a backflip to strike the Killikeen. Here's a bonus, Blade Raid. He summoned Kansho and Bakuya into his hands and threw them in midair at the Killikeen for additional damage before catching them upon returning as he landed back on the ground. Time to get it on. Neptune channeled her inner energy to increase her strength, critical edge. She flew back at the Killikeen to slash the robotic monster then followed up with an uppercut to launch it further into the air then slashed once more with great speed whilst inflicting a large amount of damage. Looks like it's just a little more till it's down for the count. In that case, Naruto got off the bike. I'll end this with my new EXE drive. You've developed one? Asked If with surprise. Been working on one since Leanbox, and now's the time for its debut. Naruto felt his chakra surge as he prepared to execute his attack. Here's my EXE drive, Uzumaki Blade Blitz. He dashed towards the Killikeen while summoning Kansho and Bakuya into his hands to unleash a swift combo of vertical, horizontal and diagonal slashes. He switched the short swords out for the Sunlight Heart which he activated before unleashing a barrage of one-handed thrusts. Naruto held the attack lance with both hands to perform a rising uppercut and triggered the energy propulsion to launch himself high into the air like a rocket. He reached the desired height and switched the lance out for the Monadu as he swiped a hand over the panel to SWCH to a blue kanji for Buster. The sword opened up to project a long blue blade of energy as Naruto went into a freefall towards the Killikeen. This is the end. He somersaulted several times before attacking with a cleaving strike in a blue flash while landing on the ground with a thud. Unable to continue or take any more damage, the Killikeen dispersed into numerous pixels, signaling the end of the fight. Naruto put away the Monadu and turned around only to catch a teary-eyed harassman who leapt into his arms while the rest approached him and he waved a hand in greeting. Yo. Yo yourself, what happened to you and how did you get a bike? Asked If. A lot actually, and it's not exactly a bike. Naruto glanced at the motorcycle as it defused to reveal Nyx and Styria who hovered behind him and waved at the stunt group, but the bottom line was that I made some new friends along the way. They're Nyx and Styria, the twin sisters of Shiva. You gotta be kidding me, you actually got a summon, said Blanc in disbelief. You mean those guys one would call on to help beat the big baddies in fights? Asked Neptune in her normal form, referring to several RPGs with the fantasy genres. Blanc reverted from her HDD with the same for the others and continued to explain, the very same ones, but I read that none have been seen all these years till now. It is a pleasure to meet you all, said Styria with a bow. It's nice to meet you too, said Kompa politely. Naruto, we'll take some time to rest for now. You can call us when you require our aid, said Nyx as they transformed into white orbs of energy and went into the crystal pendant around Naruto's neck. Besides that, care to tell me what's going on right now? Asked Naruto, following them back into the hideout. Well, you see, Gatchman took the time to tell him what happened when they were separated to now, and that was when you showed up to help. I see, it was just like I suspected. By the way, there's something I want to ask you about, Blanc, said Neptune. What is it? Asked Blanc. My friends and I are looking for an item called a key fragment. Have you seen it? Blanc shook her head in response. No, I haven't, but why would you need it? It's to help free Histy. Is that the reason why you've been traveling all around the world? Pretty much, yeah, it's the main reason, but we also help others along the way too, said Naruto. Yesy, we made lots of friends while we were at it, said Kompa in affirmation. I seem to recall about Neptune not remembering anything, said Blanc. It would have something to do with the battle the four of us had back at Celestia, and also I had my powers copied by Arfwar as well, said Vert. I guess now isn't the time to fight between goddesses. Of course not, I think it's better that we all become friends instead. We'll even help you save Loi, said Neptune cheerfully. Help me save Loi? That's rather foreign to hear that from you, said Blanc. It's obvious that you aren't happy about Arfwar using your power and identity to make a mess of things which isn't making anyone happy. I don't like that, and I'm sure Neru and the others agree with me. She's not wrong, Arfwar is bad news for anyone and everyone, said If. From a certain standpoint, I shouldn't help Loi. But I can't look away when people are in danger from that witch's ambitions, so I will help you, said Vert. Blanc lowered her head in silence of what they said and began to sob. Please help Loi, I'll do anything as long as financier and the citizens are okay. She felt something wipe the tears away from her eyes and looked up to see Naruto smiling at her. No need to cry, Blanc-chan, I really don't like it when girls cry in front of me, as it makes me sad too. We'll help you save Loi, that's a promise. Blanc stared at Naruto in wonder and looked past him to see the others nodding in affirmation before turning to him as a small smile graced her face. Thank you, Naruto. Naruto simply gave her a foxy grin in response. Hey everyone, I got intel for all of us, said If as she entered the main room where Naruto and the others were in. Oh, you mean you know the places which sells the tastiest pudding? Asked Neptune excitedly. I'd like to know too, since I haven't tried pudding made in Loi, Kompa piped up. I kinda curious too, and do you also know where they make tasty ramen too? I'd love to know, said Naruto. I'd be more interested to hear of any new game releases, Vert followed up. If sweat dropped at their requests, I doubt any of them would count as intel. Not to mention that I would be able to search for all that online within a minute, said Gatchman, looking a bit sulky. Do you by any chance have information on soy pudding? Asked Blanc politely. Not you too, Lady Blanc, said If in disbelief. Calm down, Ify-chan, so what's the actual info you got for us? Asked Naruto. I learnt that the Loi Basilicom will be receiving a supply of weapons from Avenir today. Blanc shot up from her seat in shock. What? How dare they? Chillax, Blanc, we still got time to nab them, said Neptune. Hearing this calmed her down. You're right, sorry for my outburst. Do you know where it will be held? Over at Avenir No. 4 storage facility. This brought back Blanc's rage all the way at La Station. Blanc-chan, please calm down. Now that we know where they are, we can plan on how to go about this, said Naruto, waving his hands to placate the irate goddess. Naruto's right, being aware of this enables us to take the best course of action, said Vert. Obviously, we're gonna stop them, said Blanc, frowning in response. You can all leave all to Nep and her ability to cause randomness in events. Neptune puffed her chest out in gusto. Blanc's sweat dropped at this. I'm beginning to doubt that you're an amnesiac. We'll need to hurry over there before the transaction is done if we want to stop them, if interrupted. But I can't leave here open, said Blanc with concern. Lady Blanc. Let us go in Lady Vert's place, said a guy called Older Brother. We will protect Lady Vert, Lady Compa, and the transformed Lady Neptune, said the younger brother. Oh great, these guys again, Naruto growled in annoyance. If had told him about these guys being pervs with an obsession for girls with large melons and how they had ignored her and Neptune until she went into her HDD form. Naruto saw how they acted and was very annoyed with their antics. The brothers themselves always felt nervous whenever they're in the same area with him, as the way he looks at them is akin to a lion waiting for the perfect moment to maul them. Don't think I'm unaware that you really want to guard those tatas, your asses are staying right here. Blanc snarled at the brothers. We were just wanting protect the goddesses in sincerity, Older Brother feebly defended his reason. Yeah, and the kid is Hokage, said K9 sarcastically. Staying behind is a noble deed. Vert puffed her chest to make her melons bounce slightly. I ask you to carry the deed in honor. With our very lives, said younger brother with a perv look on his face. Blanc gritted her teeth at all this. Why the hell do I put up with them? We seem to be in sync here, Lady Blanc, said If with a frown. Would you like to educate them later with me? It would be my pleasure. Mind if I take part in it? I got some ideas that would interest you, Naruto spoke up with a dark smile on his face which frightened Gatchman and Harassman a bit. Sure Naruto, but what are you doing? Asked If. Naruto blinked in confusion. What do you mean? She means why you're holding your swords out before us. Blanc explained. Naruto looked down only to be surprised upon seeing that Kansho and Bakuya were in his hands. What the, how did these get in my hands? That's what we want to know. Neptune shivered at this. Oh man, looks like Naruto can go dark mode even without knowing. This is not going to end well. Soon enough, the group set out from Loi via the Sky Harbor while making sure to avoid the Basilicom, which was obviously keeping an eye out for them until arriving at La Station. Naruto took note that nothing has changed much and doesn't know whether to view that as a good thing or not. He was snapped out of his thoughts upon hearing Blanc say something. So, this place is La Station, said Blanc while taking a look around the place. Could this be your first time here? Asked Neptune curiously. Indeed, I never went anywhere besides Plankton. You go to Plankton, whatever for? Asked Harassman, sitting atop Naruto's hair. Well, there's a special event held twice a year there and, Blanc suddenly paused and looked away. Never mind. An event, kinda like a festival. Have you heard of any festival, Compa? Asked Neptune. I only know of the summer festival, but nothing more than that, Compa replied with a small frown. It's an event none of you would understand, said Blanc with a shrug. Why do I feel a sense of affinity with her? Could it be that she's on my side? Thought Vert while looking at Blanc. Ah, come on Blanc, you can't leave me in a state of curiosity. Tell me what kind of festival it is. Neptune persisted. If was quick to interject, we can talk about this later, especially since we have more important things to do. You guys can be such killjoys, said Neptune with a pout. I kinda forgot, but we can ask Moir for help. Moir? Asked Blanc confusedly. Naruto was the one to explain. Moir-chan is the CPU of La Station. We met her when we first came to this place. Yeah, back when she was without friends and still is, said Neptune with a nostalgic smile. Oh my, Moir doesn't have any friends? Asked Vert in surprise. Please ignore her, Lady Vert. It's not true, said If, sighing in exasperation. Of course it's true, I can tell she has no friends according to my intuition, Neptune insisted. Moir trying to fixing La Station by herself is like saying you have no friends. Recalling the times with her doesn't surprise me, said Blanc. You're right, her hard-headed nature isolates her from others, Vert added in agreement. Poor Noir, everybody is talking smack behind her back, said Compa with pity. Come on you guys, Moir really is a nice person and has friends. Unless your declaration of being her best friend isn't to be taken seriously, Nep-chan, said Naruto with a frown. Neptune waved her hands in a placating manner. It's just a joke, Naru, all in good fun. Naruto crossed his arms. Some jokes can be very expensive, Nep-chan. By the way, Vert, I've been wondering, but why are you wearing those glasses? Asked Blanc confusedly. It's a disguise. It would be bothersome if someone found another CPU here, Vert replied, making her melons bounce on purpose. Blanc glared at her darkly. Okay, I'll let that jiggle pass this time, but you do have a point. She reached into her pocket to take out a pair of blue-rimmed glasses and put it on with a look of satisfaction. Disguise complete. Naruto groaned mentally. It's official, all 4 goddesses SCK at disguising themselves beyond supposed cosplay. As if it wasn't obvious enough? Asked K9 with a quirked eyebrow. Well, one cannot exactly be talented in everything, said Model X awkwardly. The group made their way to the last station Basilicom but made sure that they were out of sight in case there any guards patrolling the area. Now that we're here, what's next? Asked If. Blanc tilted her head in mild confusion. Aren't we going in? Well, the Basilicom and Avenir know about Nep-chan, Ifi-chan, Kompa-chan and I don't really need to say how much they dislike us after what we did with Noir-chan last time we were here, Naruto explained. Yesy, we destroyed a bad robot of theirs, so they might not be very happy with us, Kompa added. In that case, you can leave it to me and Blanc, Vert offered. Blanc nodded in agreement. We're disguised after all, plus I'm good with negotiations. Then we'll be counting on you too, said Naruto with a smile. The 2 goddesses nodded in affirmation and made their way into the Basilicom. It was hardly close to 10 minutes when they came back out with looks of frustration on their faces, much to the confusion of the trio. Report, Sergeant, said Neptune. Blanc bowed her head. Mission failed. I can't believe 2 directional aspects didn't work, said Vert in disappointment. Guess I can't expect more to help that much then, said Neptune. Naruto hummed thoughtfully. It kinda makes me wonder why she isn't there. Vert spoke up. By the way, Blanc, that Onaikan was Excel a bit off. What? And no, I read it in a book that men like these kinds of approaches. Blanc protested nervously. Oh ho, what's this about an Onaikan? Asked Neptune curiously. It's none of your concern. My guess is that she tried to use her cuteness to charm the guys in the Basilicom. Saw that in a couple of manga, said Naruto with an awkward smile. That's not really it. Blanc refuted, albeit her face was beet red from being called cute by the blonde. Oh, why are you blushing, Onaikan? Asked Vert mischievously. Blanc glared at her. Shut it or I'll reap the melons of yours. I want to see the lady, Onaikan, she continued to tease the brunette. Stop it, all you were doing was hanging those udders of yours. All I did was use my aptitudes, not that you would understand. Vert made her melons jiggle for emphasis. What did you say? Melons for brains. Seeing M jiggle makes me wanna puke. Blanc snarled with growing intent to harm. Well, I can't help my undulating melons, something you don't need to worry about. Blanc went into her HDD form and brandished her plasma axe. That does it. I'm gonna send those lumps of fat to the grave. Vert also transformed into her HDD form and pointed her spear at Blanc. Oh my, do you really have what it takes to defeat me? Iffy, Naruto, I feel as if the console war is about to start, said Neptune nervously. I feel a sense of déjà vu, looking at this, said Naruto with a small frown. It would have to do with your dislike for the DMN, Uchiha K9 pointed out. That must be it. This is getting painful to watch. I'll put a stop to this, said If before approaching to do just that. After finally breaking up a forthcoming fight before it truly started, If led the other in direction of where the supply point of the weapons from Avenir would take place and could see the closed factory, which is similar in appearance to the one which Ganache had trapped them in before escaping from it. So, this is where the exchange will take place, said Blanc with a small frown. How do you plan to stop the exchange? Asked Vert. Easy, I'll just destroy everything. It makes sense and would deter any future transactions, if spoke in agreement. Then we have our objective set now. Naruto checked his stats to see if he's good to go. Best we hurry then, it might take some time depending on how many enemies we would encounter, Vert pointed out. The group proceeded to traverse the area in search for their target while having to watch out for anything lying in wait ahead of them. It wasn't too surprising for them when they encountered monsters along the way, which Gatchman and K9 identified the newer ones to be High-Bit Custom, Strange Person, Ruffian Cat, and DSTT, which they were able to take out and obtaining monster drops along the way. Like always, Harassman used his treasure hunter ability to seek out hidden items which lead to him uncovering fight idea chip, sci-fi idea chip and strategy idea chip, while Naruto found a couple of plans on how to make healing rain, silver bracelet and angel wings, which he'll check out afterwards. Found them, this must be the place for the exchange, said Blanc as they came into a much wider section of the building and came across someone familiar and frankly annoying to Naruto, Neptune, If and Compa. Ugh, it's Ganache. Been a while since we last saw your smug-looking face, said Naruto with a frown. It has certainly been a while. I was wondering when I would see you all again along with some new faces, said Ganache with a polite smile. Oh, it's you again. Ganache equals enemy, is getting rather old. What do you think, Compa? Neptune looked at said person with indifference. You're right, Nep, I really am bored of seeing his face too many times, said Compa. Well, it seems that mouth of yours hasn't changed, said Ganache. We find it cur that you are selling weapons to Low E. You would be making it stronger than Lastation despite the profit, asked Gatchman confusedly. Ganache pushed up his glasses with a small chuckle. There seems to be a misunderstanding. What exactly do you mean by that? Asked If. Just because we live in Lastation doesn't mean that we worship the goddess here. The one I truly revere is Lady Whiteheart. I will destroy Lastation in her name. Well now, we certainly weren't expecting anything like this when coming to disrupt the exchange, said Vert with a frown. I have an idea, said Neptune, suddenly having an epiphany. What is it? Asked Harassman curiously. Since he follows Whiteheart aka Blanc, we can get her to talk to him to stop and skip a battle flag altogether. If so, then leave it to me. I'd rather talk than fight, said Blanc in agreement. Can't really bring myself to believe that, since with her temper, reminds me of some other redhead I'd like to forget, said K9. I find it rather odd given you're supposed to be Naruto's navigator since he first came to this world, X queried, making the cyber fox nervous. I was referring to a certain video online. Is that so? Why yeah. Ganache looked at his watch with impatience. Are you guys done talking? I got another task waiting for me and... Neptune held a palm out to stop him. Hold it. What? I can't let you leave while a golden opportunity lays before you. Allow me the honor to introduce to you Lady Whiteheart. Neptune dramatically gestured to Blanc, who strode forward and transformed into her HDD form. I am Lady Whiteheart. Blanc proclaimed. Ganache gasped and stepped back in shock. No, that can't be. It's impossible. Ganache, was it? I can understand your dedication to me, but doing so in sacrifice of others is not what I want to see. So I'd like for you to cease this at once, said Blanc. Yo CBLTERT, Ganache stammered in disbelief. What? Blanc quirked an eyebrow. Dude looks like something's clogging up his throat, said Naruto. I kinda doubt he's asthmatic, said Compa. Would you speak up like a man? I can't hear you. Blanc looked annoyed with Ganache speaking so brokenly. You can't be Lady Whiteheart, you must be the fake I've heard about. Ganache spoke accusingly. What are you talking about? I'm the real one and the other is a fake. Ganache shook his head in denial. No, you're the fake. Get it in your noggin already, I'm the real deal. No. My angelic Lady Whiteheart would never be this much of a swearer. What? Blanc snarled with rage building up to a boiling point. Oh my, I've seen these types at expos and conventions before, said Vert. It's really sad when reality smacks you back to sense. They kind of go into depression, right, Iffy? Neptune turned towards If with a knowing look, and Naruto was doing the same. What do you mean? Asked If nervously. Oh, remember that hidden link we found on Vert's blog? You were like, my Lady Greenheart would never be this much of a gamer. And come to think of it, you still haven't paid up with the puddings, said Naruto with a small frown, if could do nothing more than blubber. Vert looked a bit surprised, my iffy, I didn't expect. No. It's not true. Don't hate me. If barely stammered out. Oh don't worry, I would never hate you for that. On the contrary, you and Naruto are too adorable for me to leave alone. Lady Vert, if swooned at hearing this. Guys, I don't think now's a good time, said Naruto albeit blushing from being called adorable. You're darn right Blondie. I'm gonna rip this guy a new one, said Blanc angrily. That just proves you're the fake CPU, the true white heart is loving, caring, Ganache went on for a whole hour, so, you can't be her. Whoa, this dude is so hardcore, said Neptune in wonder. I'm a little scared, Kompa took a step back from this. This guy seems more obsessed than faithful, Naruto crossed his arms with a frown. Now are we done with all the prattle, said Ganache in annoyance. Seems like he has snapped back to his default character, Gatchman noted. Unfortunately, I must hurry, so I'll get this over quickly. Ganache snapped his fingers to call upon Killikeen only that this one is colored red compared to the previous ones. I certainly hate by myself, so I hope Killikeen 3.0 will suffice. Looks like we're gonna fight after all, said Neptune with a shrug. Time for you to transform and beat up the bad guys, Nep, said Kompa. Okie dokie. Neptune transformed in her HDD form and was at the ready. Shall we get started, Vert-chan? Asked Naruto. For you and Iffy. I am always ready. Vert also followed suit and transformed into her HDD form as well. Let's do this Model Z, said Naruto with the biometal flying into his outstretched hand. Mega Merge, he called out to initiate the transformation. Biolink established, MEGA system online. Naruto was engulfed in a dome of light before it dissipated to reveal that he had transformed into Mega Man Model Z as he equipped himself with the Z-Saber. I will have you all perish here in the name of Lady Whiteheart. Ganache proclaimed. Killikeen lunged at the group with a swing of its mace, forcing them to move out of the way of the attack to avoid getting hit as well as the follow-up attack of its axe. Then Gatchman called out to the others. Remember that it is highly resistant to physical attacks and elemental attacks are more effective. Gatchman reminded. Thanks for the reminder, let's get this started. Naruto charged at the Killikeen with the Z-Saber held low with the tip sparking against the ground a few times. E-Blade, he performed a leaping upward slash with the Z-Saber as a blade of blue lightning to strike the machine before positioning himself above it, and now, severing Earth Flame. Naruto held the Z-Saber in both hands as it was enshrouded in flames before descending with a downward move, but the Killikeen blocked the attack by crossing both axe and mace together before flinging him away to land on the ground with a skid. Here I come, you piece of floating scrap metal. Blanc charged in with a roar, striking at the Killikeen many times with her plasma axe before quickly somersaulting into the air to avoid a wide swing from its own axe and landing behind it. Too slow, Tanzran Tromb. She proceeded to spin rapidly on her feet like a top while striking consecutively with her plasma axe before ending the barrage by using the momentum to perform a downward strike which caused the ground to shake a bit upon impact. The Killikeen formed a ball of energy before firing it at Neptune, who blocked it with her blade, but the explosive impact damaged her a bit. Now it's my turn. She dashed up to the machine and unleashed a flurry of slashes before ending the combo with a special move, Critical Edge. She flew back at the Killikeen to slash the robotic monster, then followed up with an uppercut to launch it further into the air, then slashed once more with great speed whilst inflicting a large amount of damage. I'll heal you Nep. Kompa formed an orb of light and threw it at Neptune to help her recover from the earlier injury. This caused the Killikeen to SWCH targets to Kompa to attack her with its mace. Naruto saw what was about to happen and quickly equipped himself with the chain rod before using it to hook onto the robot's attacking arm and pulling HRD on it with his enhanced strength to stop it from getting closer to Kompa, who quickly moved away. Thanks Naru. Naruto would have responded, but he was suddenly pulled off the ground with the Killikeen swinging him around till the chain rod lost its hold and he was sent flying, but managed to recover in midair to land feet first on a wall and rebounded off it, circling water slash. He switched out the chain rod for the Z-Saber to perform a fast water element rolling slash to damage before moving away to cool down a bit. "Allow me to take a turn." Vert flew at the Killikeen and slashed at it multiple times with her spear before blocking an axe swing from the robot, but the impact pushed her back a fair distance. "I can still attack even when not close." Silhet spear, a large wooden spiraled spear shot out and struck the Killikeen, and now, Canestra slash. Vert crouched slightly before disappearing in a flash to reappear right behind the robot, where there was a moment of stillness, then numerous slashes began appearing all over its body. The Killikeen is seen severely damaged, which is evident by the frequent spasming and sparks coming off the body, signaling one more strike is what is needed to end the battle then and there. Blanc strode forward with an audible snarl. "So you just don't want to give in and be scrapped, eh? I'm gonna make you regret that with my EXE drive, hard break." Blanc ran up to the Killikeen and slid on her feet as she knocked it back with a swing of her plasma, which she slammed to the ground to launch a ground shockwave to strike. She spun round several times to throw her axe like a projectile to bounce off the Killikeen and land in the ground for her to quickly pick up and leap high into the air, then descend somersaulting, cleaving slash on it and unleashing a blue pillar of light around them. This attack was more than what the Killikeen was meant to handle, as it exploded into many pieces and dissipated into pixels. "Well, that takes care of that," said Naruto, turning towards Ganache only to frown slightly behind his visor at the person's current reaction. "Huh, that still didn't do the trick," said Ganache with a look of indifference. "I figured you'd be more worried since 3 goddesses and a Megaman destroyed your machine without much issues," said Neptune. "I needn't feel that way, as I wasn't expecting one of it to be able to defeat you all." Ganache snapped his fingers to call upon another Killikeen to appear, albeit in its regular color. "There's more of them," said Gatchman in surprise. "Indeed, we have many replacements as necessary in this factory. You merely destroyed one out of an entire line. It wasn't my intention to engage you in a battle of power, but rather of attrition." "You gotta be kidding me," said Blanc in disbelief. "I'm not the type to kid, let me show you just how serious I am." Ganache snapped his fingers again. "Killikeen's come. This doesn't bode well for us," said Vert with concern. Naruto gripped the Z-Saber tightly. "I know, Vert-chan." Suddenly there was a series of explosions which took everyone by surprise, especially Ganache. What? Ganache looked around confusedly for the source of the commotion. "Unfortunate for you, none will come to your command," a feminine but familiar voice spoke up, and everyone turned to see who it is. "Mages. It really is you," said Neptune. "It has certainly been a while," said Mages. With a smile. "What brought you here?" "Well, I heard bad rumors about this place, so I decided to meddle in some affairs." "So, you were the cause of the explosions?" asked Ganache. Mages smirked. "Who else? Besides the contraption over there, I mages have destroyed them all." "Impossible, how can just you alone be able to destroy all of them?" "Simple really, I just used magic to destroy them from the inside." "Nice to see that you're actually losing your cool for real, Ganache team," said Naruto with a smirk and held his Z-Saber at the ready. "Are you going to help us mages?" asked Neptune. "I don't see why I shouldn't, plus a certain someone would be very saddened if you perished here," said Mages. "No one's gonna be perishing here, just trashing a robot," said Naruto. Mages brandished her wand and stood at the ready like the others. "Then let us begin. We're gonna make this quick." Activating Digivolution. Naruto called out as a pillar of light engulfed Gatchman. Initiating Digivolution. Gatchman digivolved to do Gatchman. Gatchman transformed into his champion form and stood at the ready to assist, while Harassment remained close to Naruto just in case. "Let's begin." Gatchman rushed at Killikeen and unleashed a barrage of fists glowing with digital energy before being knocked back by the machine. "Here's a bonus, Gatch Buster." Gatchman held his hands forward close together as the pointers detached themselves from his body and hovered around the hands at 4 angles as blue energy gathered at the hands before firing a powerful beam of energy to attack the Killikeen. Kilikeen retaliated by firing an explosive energy ball at them with Naruto immediately intercepting it with a technique, guard shell. He conjured a golden shield of energy to reflect the incoming projectile at the machine and followed it up with another, Yammar option. He summoned 3 robot dragonflies which hovered around him protectively before he commanded them to fire a barrage of energy shots to pelt the machine until they ran out of energy and disappeared. I shall have you fall in defeat here, mages. Pointed her wand towards the Kilikeen and unleashed multiple spells of fire, wind, and lightning to deal critical damage due to its poor resistance to elemental attacks, and now, conflagration dust, she summoned flames in a plus-shaped pattern underneath the robot before engulfing in a large pillar of fire. Kilikeen righted itself and retaliated with a swing of its axe, mages. Quickly conjured a magic circle in front of her to serve as a shield which was able to deflect the attack albeit reducing the damage by a certain percentage. Naruto, I need a boost. If called out as she ran towards him, Naruto spun round to face her with his hands cupped together for her to place a foot on before launching her with great force towards the enemy as her triple-edged claws glowed with energy for an attack. Heaven Demon, she rapidly attacked with a combo of slashes before finishing up with a cross slash and jumping back afterwards when it attempted to attack with its mace before attacking once more. Los Delfinus. If called out with a wave of her hand, a blue magic circle appeared underneath the Kilikeen before a pillar of energy shot out to strike it strongly several times. Time to feel the power of my 32-bit Mega Blade. Neptune raised a hand towards the sky as purple pixels materialized and clustered together to form into a large double-edged sword. She swung her hand down to have it launch at the machine, striking the ground close to it and engulf in a pillar of purple light for additional damage. Naruto dashed past Neptune towards the Kilikeen whilst initiating a technique, Twin Phantasm. He conjured a shining ghost-like silhouette of himself beside him and mirroring his movements, Crescent Moon Slash. Both leapt into the air and simultaneously performed an earth element rolling slash surrounded by a crescent-shaped yellow aura for double damage. Don't think I'll butt out from this smash fest, Zersterum. Blanc approached whilst spinning round with her plasma axe before stomping HRD on the ground to form cracks underneath her feet and attacking with a baseball swing powerful enough to make the ground quake upon impact, and a large dent could be seen on the Kilikeen while it knocked back a great distance. Nepchan, let's end this with a team attack, said Naruto, seeing that the EXE drive meter has charged up to level 2. Neptune nodded in confirmation. I'm ready when you are. Alright then, time for the EXE drive, bladed duet. Naruto and Neptune were enshrouded in red and purple auras respectively which then flowed into their blades. They rushed up to the Kilikeen and positioned themselves on either side of the machine and proceeded to repeatedly slash at it before performing a high and low spinning kick to swap places and resume slashing. The duo jumped away from the Kilikeen and crouched slightly with their blades surging with energy before dashing towards their target and striking with a cross slash to form a red and purple X on the Kilikeen, then engulfed it in a pillar of magenta light. The light dissipated to reveal that the Kilikeen has been completely destroyed. Well, what do you know? They can also be destroyed from the outside as well, said Mages. Thoughtfully. Thanks for the help, said Neptune gratefully. No need to be thankful, I didn't really do much. Naruto refuted in response, you did plenty to get us all out of a tight jam, of course we would thank you. Looks your plans have ended in failure, said Vert. He, Ganache chuckled before breaking into full-blown laughter. What's so funny, Four Eyes? Asked Blanc with a frown. Things may not have gone the way I wanted, but I believe that I bought enough time, said Ganache. Bought enough time? You're making it sound like you were distracting us, weren't you? Said Naruto with a frown behind his visor. Indeed I was. The fake intel we let out was to lure you all out and keep you preoccupied. For what exactly? Asked Neptune. Naruto thought through Ganache's statement carefully and couldn't help but feel a sense of déjà vu. Then it slammed into him like a freight train as he turned back to the others with urgency. We need to get back to Loi, now. What do you mean, Naruto? Asked Kampa confusedly. This is just like the time when Ganache locked us up in that factory and went to attack Qian and the others. This is the second time we've been tricked. If what you're saying is true, then, If heard her phone and immediately answered, hello. Miss If, it's me. Financier. We need help, the Basilicom is attacking the hideout in Kaya. The line went dead with if trying to call back but to no avail. Naruto's right, Financier and the others are being attacked right now. Blank's eyes widened with shock, then what are we standing around here for? Let's go. I believe I'll be taking my leave, goodbye. Ganache reached into his pocket and brought out a small capsule which he threw to the ground and unleashed a bright flash, blinding everyone while he took the opportunity to make his escape. He's gone, said Kampa. Mages frowned in response. It is unfortunate, but I believe we have more pressing matters to attend to. You're right, we need to hurry back to Loi and help everyone before it's too late, said Neptune, receiving nods of agreement from everyone before proceeding to make their exit out of the factory and back to Loi. Naruto and the others were currently back in Loi and rushing back to aid Financier and the rebels before Arfwar gets to them. They skidded to a stop at the crossroads and looked around for the shortest route to get there sooner. By the way, Blanc, where is this hideout? Asked Neptune curiously. It's in the city next to where we met, said Blanc. Vert frowned in thought, then it's quite a distance away from here. There's a shortcut here but there's no assurance of safety. Well, we don't have the time to be picky about routes right now. Let's get there as soon as we can before it's too late, said Naruto. If nodded in agreement, Naruto's right, we can't afford to waste any more time. Blanc took the lead as the group went into the snowfield in hopes of reaching the others in time but had to watch out for the monsters along the way and being slowed down by them. Meanwhile at the hideout, Financier was trying to regroup the rebels but was having difficulty due to being obstructed by Arfwar herself. Arfwar, why are you here? Asked Financier confusedly. I'm quite disappointed in you, Financier, to think you would betray me, said Arfwar. I serve Lady Whiteheart, not a fake. How noble, but your loyalty has only served to be your goddess's downfall. What are you talking about? I knew that there was a spy, so I put up a ruse to lure the goddess and her friends into a trap. No doubt that they have met their end by now, Arfwar sneered. Financier was shocked to hear that. It can't be. Let your death be the sentence for the defiance of your so-called resistance. Arfwar raised her weapon to attack when something whizzed past and struck the ground between them, revealing to be a white short sword which they immediately recognized, and a familiar voice spoke up. We're gonna have to disagree with that notion of yours, Arfwar. They turned to see Naruto with his hand outstretched for the sword to pull itself off the ground and fly back into his grasp as the others stood next to him. Kept you waiting, didn't we, Financier? Asked If. Oh, how irritating to see you all still alive, said Arfwar in annoyance. So, she is the true enemy? Looks like someone I used to know, said Mages. Thoughtfully. Humph, you all look tired. I will kill you all along with Neptune. Arfwar then noticed something odd. Wait, where is she? Kampa looked around for the girl. I can't find Nep here. The witch began laughing. Ha 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 ha. So, she must have run off. Naruto let out a groan and held up a finger. Hang on a minute. He walked away from the group and went behind a building where they all heard a yelp, then saw Naruto coming back while pulling Neptune along by the arm. Oh come on, I was just about to do a heroic entrance and surprise everyone, said Neptune with a pout. I would have allowed it if the current situation wasn't that serious, Nep-chan, said Naruto. For some reason, I am not surprised at this, said If. Neptune, hurry up and change forms already. Humph, fine you meanies. Neptune went in HDD form, then had a thought, maybe the entrance would have been better if I had appeared in this form. If groaned, why me? Seriously, what's wrong with this girl? Asked K9. This doesn't change a thing, I'll get rid of you all at once, said Arfwar. Right back at ya, so let's get down to business already, said Naruto, twirling Kansho and Bakuya in both hands before taking a combat stance. The little cutie is right. Vert went into her HDD for as well and brandished her spear, so allow me to pay you back for what you did back at Leanbox. Financier, you've done well. Now, leave the rest to me, said Blanc before going into her HDD form like the rest and glared at Arfwar. Time to beat the CRP out of you. All words, Arfuar gestured for her machines to appear before her with an orange four-legged machine equipped with 2 laser cannons and 2 small orb-like machines each with an antenna shaped like a bowtie. Let's see if your actions can follow. TCH, those heaps of junk again. DMN it. Blanc snarled as the smaller robot pods released twin radial pulses which seemed to have no visible effect, but the group felt something had happened. What are they? Asked Naruto warily. Those are jammer pods. They possess the annoying ability to seal away one's ability to use their skills or items. Apparently, there's one for each, mages responded. Then we'll have to take care of those jammer pods quickly before focusing on the heavy tank, said If. Let's get started then, said Neptune. Here's a plan, Ifi-chan, mages. And I will handle the jammer pods while the rest of you deal with the heavy tank, said Naruto. Alright then, let's trash these pieces of scrap metal, said Blanc eagerly flying towards the heavy tank with her plasma axe at the ready. Naruto lunged at the skill jammer and slashed several times with his short swords and ending the combo with a jump kick to knock it away, but the machine was quick to retaliate with a magic mega slash which Naruto crossed his swords together to block but was pushed back. If closed in from the left side and attacked strongly with her triple-edged claws. Mages provided support from a distance with a barrage of wind, fire and ice magic one after another. The skill jammer targeted mages and attacked with a high flame attack. Naruto quickly intercepted as he switched out the short swords for the Monadu and used the flat side of the sword as a makeshift shield to protect her, albeit taking in some damage in turn. My thanks to you, said Mages gratefully. Naruto smiled in response, don't mention it, just backing you up. He saw If hacking at the skill jammer with her claws and noted the item jammer about to attack from her blind spot. I don't think so. Naruto dashed forward and threw the Monadu across the battlefield to strike the item jammer before knocking it away with a flying kick and catching the sword with one hand as it fell from above. With Neptune and the others, they were rather busy dealing with the heavy tank which was constantly firing round after round with its laser cannons, which forced them to be more on the defensive but took to the tactic of drawing its fire while the others would attack strongly from its blind spots, then quickly moving away before it can get a lock on them. What's taking this so long? This should have been scrapped by now, said Blanc in annoyance. Have patience, I'm sure they will soon deal with the jammers, said Vert. She's right, we just need to hang in there, said Neptune. Ifi-chan, let's double up on the skill jammer then have mages finish it off with a spell, Naruto called out, switching the Monadu back to the Konsho and Bakuya. If nodded in affirmation, roger that. The duo charged from both sides and rapidly slashed at the skill jammer, giving it little to no chance to defend itself against either one of them as they ended the assault with a double cross slash before jumping away for mages to attack with a lightning spell, finishing the machine off. Alright guys, we can use our skills again, Naruto called out loudly. Then let me heal you all, said Kampa, using one of her skills to heal the others, but noted that Naruto was completely okay in spite of having been attacked the most by the jammers. Blanc smirked, it's about time, Tanzran Trombe. She proceeded to spin rapidly on her feet like a top around the heavy tank whilst striking at it consecutively with her plasma axe before ending the barrage by using the momentum to perform a downward strike, shaking the ground upon impact. Canestra slash. Vert crouched slightly before disappearing in a flash to reappear right behind the robot, where there was a moment of stillness, then numerous slashes began appearing all over its body. Time to feel the power of my 32-bit Mega Blade. Neptune raised a hand towards the sky as purple pixels materialized and clustered together to form into a large double-edged sword. She swung her hand down to have it launch at the machine, striking the ground close to it and engulf in a pillar of purple light for additional damage. Let's aim for the item jammer next, steel fans. Naruto projected copies of the short swords to hold in between his fingers before slashing several times at the item jammer before blocking magic mega slash from the machine with them and moving away for If to move in for an attack. Los Delphinus. If called out with a wave of her hand, a blue magic circle appeared underneath the item jammer before a pillar of energy shot out to strike it strongly several times. This is the end, mechanical paradox. Mages formulated a purple magical circle which fired 6 purple energy rays to home in on the item jammer and explode upon impact with the machine being utterly destroyed. Now that's dealt with, time to help Nep and the others with the heavy tank, said If. Naruto nodded in affirmation. Gotcha. The trio quickly went over to assist with Naruto taking point as he switched out the short swords for the sunlight heart, sunlight flare. He swung the lance multiple times with the tip opening up to launch compressed crescent waves of energy to strike the heavy tank. Kept you guys waiting. Obviously, now we can really get down to business, said Blanc before targeting the machine. Gefahrlichtern. She waved her hands before her to conjure multiple orbs of compressed ice, then swinging her plasma axe to launch them at the heavy tank, barraging it all over. Rainy Retnapra. Vert struck the heavy machine with a series of rapid thrusts of her spear before ending the combo with a powerful diagonal slash. Gonna end this right here and now, Trick Rave. Naruto tossed the lance lightly in front of him before kicking it high into the air. The blonde leapt after the lance to grab it, then descended to pierce the heavy tank from above. It's over. He activated the lance to open up and completely pierce through it to the ground before jumping off the now destroyed machine. Not bad, considering your experiences in fighting, said Arfoire nonchalantly. We have you to thank for that, Neptune replied. Still have that mouth on you, huh? Then let me present you with a gift. Arfoire held out something which the others immediately recognized. That's an enemy disc. Where did you get it? Neptune demanded. I created it, of course, quite easy to mass produce if you ask me, the witch sneered as she summoned more monsters to her. So, all those monsters in Gamindustry were because of you? Asked Kampa. Blanc growled angrily at the revelation. Why you? Calm down for a moment, Blanc, said Vert. Why the heck should I? You heard what she said. I certainly did, which is why I'm telling you to heal for a moment. Right now we need to retreat from here. What do you mean retreat? If we beat her here and now, then it's all over. Plus, I can't leave my people behind. The goddess of green does not mean it that way. We need to draw the enemy's attention so they may be able to escape capture. Mages pointed out to Blanc. I guess it's all we can do for now, said Blanc, albeit reluctantly. Vert then called out, Financier and all members of the resistance, please head to Lean Box. You understood. Financier began leading the resistance away from the area. But Arfoire wasn't being so idle at this. Do you think I'd let you go that easily? Monsters, attack them. Boom. The monsters were suddenly engulfed in explosions of energy before they could act on the witch's commands, much to her surprise. What? She looked to see Harassman and Gatchman in their champion forms, smirking at her. You too. Naruto had us digivolve and hide out of sight in case you tried something like this, and his guess was right on the money, said Gatchman with a grin. You tend to use deception a lot, so we had to be ready for that, said Filman. Vert, Blanc and Mages. You three should escape with Financier and the others, Neptune spoke. Are you serious about what you're saying right now? Asked Blanc. You're the one to get Loi back, so we need you to be safe. Why are you doing this? Naruto looked over his shoulder with grin. You already know the answer to that question. We're your friends and made a promise to help you save Loi. Naruto Neptune, Blanc looked at the duo in awe before finally relenting. Alright then, I'll leave it to you. Vert, you need to go with them as that will make their entry into Lean Box much easier, said Neptune. Vert frowned at this, but that would mean leaving you behind to fight. It's nothing new for us, said If with a shrug. Kampa nodded in agreement. Yesy, the four of us have been fighting together ever since we met Nep. If so, then I will be on my way and make haste with my return, said Vert. Don't keep us waiting too long, Vert-chan, said Naruto with a smile. Vert's smile in response, I certainly won't. She proceeded to join Blanc in leading the resistance away. Only a few of you left. Do you seriously think that you can stop me? Asked Arfoire arrogantly. Naruto smirked. We beat a couple of times already, not to mention that we're much stronger now. Then let's see how strong you are then. Arfoire snapped her fingers to call on or monsters to attack the group. Neptune brandished her katana. We'll be glad to show you. Naruto had K9 quickly identify the incoming monsters to be an SDHC custom, a couple of ice golem, and another heavy tank. He and the others prepared themselves for the upcoming fight. "We need to buy enough time for the others to escape, so let's be critical about this," said Naruto, twirling sunlight heart in hand, then taking a combat stance. The ice golem made the first as it charged towards Naruto with an arm reared back for a punch, with the blonde dashing towards it as well. Both drew closer for the forthcoming clash when Naruto performed a forward roll along the snowy ground to duck underneath the ice golem's punch and get behind the monster. "You're open, tear grid." Naruto activated the lance to unleash a series of thrusting attacks, then finishing with one mighty move at the ice golem to knock it away. The other ice golem moved its arms forward to launch chunks of ice towards Kampa, with If tackling her out of the way before retaliating with her own attack. She lunged at the ice golem to slash consecutively with her claws before leaping away from it. Demon flames. If activated her skill to trigger multiple explosions of flames to erupt around the golem and burning it away. However, If was taken by surprise when the SDHC attacked her with the spiked floating circular ring from its back and paralyzing her badly. "Hold on Iffy, I'll help you." Kampa quickly administered her skill on If, curing her of the paralysis. "Thanks a lot, Kampa." "You're welcome." Back with Naruto, the ice golem slammed an arm into the ground, causing large ice spikes to burst out from underground. Naruto took to the defensive as he constantly dashed from side to side and at times using the substitution jutsu when almost trapped by the ice spikes. Naruto was switching the sunlight heart out for the Monadu when he suddenly received a vision of the ice golem raising its arms into the air and conjuring a tornado of ice which engulfed him and dealt a lot of damage. "Feels like cheating with this vision thing, but I'm not going to be picky about this." Naruto swiped his hand over the screen of the Monadu to change from blue to orange with a change in the kanji, Monadu armor. The Monadu opened up to generate a medium orange energy blade as orange energy barriers appeared around Naruto and the others to protect them. The ice golem then launched its ice tornado to strike, but it didn't inflict the intended damage due to the barriers reducing them greatly. Duelist. He rushed up to the ice golem and proceeded to slash consecutively before finishing the combo with a powerful horizontal slash which defeated the monster. Over with Neptune. She was busy dealing with the heavy tank by evading the shots fired from the machine's laser cannons, and things became much easier when Naruto activated his Monadu arts to buff up the group's defensive abilities, encouraging her to be more offensive. "Here I come, critical edge." She rushed up to the heavy tank and attacked with a diagonal slash, then followed it up with an uppercut before moving at blurring speed for a final slash and appearing behind. Time for the 32-bit Mega Blade. Neptune raised a hand towards the sky to form the pixelized large double-edged sword, then having it launch at the machine, striking the ground close to it and engulf in a pillar of purple light for additional damage which was enough to destroy it. Heaven Demon. If rapidly attacked with a combo of slashes before finishing up with a cross slash and jumping back afterwards with a backflip and followed up with an additional technique, Los Delfinus. With a wave of her hand, a blue magic circle appeared underneath the SDHC before a pillar of energy shot out to strike it strongly several times. One side Iffy-chan, I'm ending this. Naruto swiped his hand over the screen of the Monadu to change from orange to blue with the usual change in the kanji, Monadu Buster. He raised Monadu above his head as it opened up to generate a long glowing blade of energy, then he brought it down to cleave the machine in half and effectively destroying it. "I think we bought enough time, let's get out of here," said Naruto urgently. "Right behind you," said Neptune. Naruto dragged the Monadu along the ground to throw up a large cloud of snow and dirt as they quickly made their getaway from Arfwar. "Don't think you can get away, forces, don't let them escape." Arfwar commanded angrily, with the monsters immediately complying and going after the group in pursuit. Naruto had Gatchman in his rookie form act as their navigator through the Stella Plains, which would lead them to the Sky Harbor and hopefully get away from Arfwar for the meantime, but they were constantly encountering monsters more frequently than what they were normally expecting. "What's with all those monsters?" asked If confusedly. "They just keep coming after us," said Kampa worriedly. "I was wondering the same thing, this puts my calculations at odds," said Gatchman. "But at least we're close to the Sky Harbor," Neptune pointed out. "Naruto, Z and I suspect something strange about these monster encounters," said Model X. What do you mean dash? Naruto was interrupted by an all too familiar voice. I got you now. How unexpected that you made it this far. Arfuar appeared before the group with a smirk on her face. It's Arfuarditwo, how did she catch up with us? Asked Neptune. As we thought, Arfuar must have commanded those monsters we encountered along the way to slow us down so she could catch up to us, said Model Z. That explains it, said K9 with a frown. A tick mark appeared on Arfuar's head. She glared at them. How many times do I need to tell you that my name is wrong? Naruto shrugged his shoulders. Given everything you've put us through ever since we met you, we really don't find it in ourselves to bother with your name. Arfuar gritted her teeth in anger from Naruto's response. That does it. She was engulfed in a pillar of light which dissipated to reveal that she had transformed into Blank's HDD form. That form, said Neptune. No doubt, she had copied Blank's powers before we showed up, said Naruto with a frown. Arfuar smirked at the group. I assume defeating you in this form will affect the ones you're protecting. It doesn't change the fact that you're a fake, no matter what, said If. Arfuar merely laughed. It may be true that I'm fake. Suddenly, they saw her eyes suddenly changed from red to yellow, but by fusing the powers of two goddesses into one, I will surpass you, and not even a Megaman assisting you will change that. Surely that can't be true, said Naruto with a frown. Unfortunately, she may be right. She already has copies of Vert and Blank's power. We won't be able to match up when you use either of us, said Model Z. Give up and don't worry, Neptune. I will put your power into good use, said Arfuar. You're gonna have to go through us if you want Neptune's power so badly, said Naruto. A voice suddenly called out, you saying that a fake is better than the real deal? Someone landed close by, revealing to be none other than Blanc. Blanc, said Neptune in surprise. If you haven't forgotten, I am here as well. Sure enough, Vert arrived as well. Lady Vert, said If. Naruto grinned, glad to see that you made it back. Well, I did assure you that I would return. Did I not? Vert smiled back at the blonde. Not to mention that, I ain't planning on being a JRK to those who are doing their best for Low E, Blanc pointed out, plus you said we're friends, and friends don't need a reason to help each other. Looks like we're back together, said If. Kompa nodded in agreement. That makes me so happy. Arfuar scoffed, trash like you coming together doesn't change who you are. Arfuar, your power may surpass us, but, Neptune held out her katana, we're not fighting alone. We'll all fight together and win this. Naruto was deep in thought about what Arfuar said before and suddenly had an epiphany. About something which he quickly asked the biometals, X and Z, is it possible that could use the both of you at the same time? The two biometals shared a look before Model X spoke. The possibility is there due to my ability. It would enable you to use both of our techniques without having to SWCH between biometals. But it could place a serious strain on the body. Vent was bedridden for several weeks the first time we attempted this, said Model Z. The kid can handle it, his body was meant for things like this. K9 spoke up. What makes you so sure about this? Asked Model X. I just know, okay. You should know that it could be your fault should things go awry, said Model Z. Guys? Asked Naruto, a bit confused with where the conversation was going. Very well then, we'll initiate the double mega merge, but we must end the battle as soon as possible, said Model Z. Naruto nodded in affirmation. Roger that, let's do this. The biometals then flew into Naruto's hands in preparation. Model X. Model Z. Here we go, double mega merge. Model X and Model Z's eyes flashed for a moment before speaking up. BioLink established, MEGA system online. Naruto was engulfed in a dome light as he underwent a transformation. He wore a black spandex bodysuit and both biometals burst into many bits of light before attaching to his body to form armor. Red gauntlets with yellow bracelets formed over his forearms, a helmet featuring a green arrow-shaped crystal that stretches from the crest to the back of the head while donning an open red jacket armor with a yellow collar. White pieces of armor were also fitted on his thighs and waistline as well, and a set of red armored boots with thick black soles formed up to his knees to complete the transformation. Naruto had also grown his hair into a long synthetic spiky ponytail. Naruto opened his eyes and stretched out a hand to summon a bladeless sword handle, then swiped to the side as it projected a deltoid-shaped blade made out of green slightly transparent energy, Megaman ZX, at the ready. Arfwar was stunned at the sight of this. You can use the double Mega Merge, it shouldn't be possible. If you could use the powers of two goddesses, then the concept could also apply to me. Now let's find out which is better, said Naruto before taking a stance with the ZX saber. Arfwar lunged at Naruto with her plasma axe reared back before swinging it constantly at the blonde. Naruto took to the defensive by using the ZX saber to parry her incoming attacks away from him whilst short dashes to evade those he can't risk blocking head-on. Fleissig Faust. She now attacked with a combo of kicks and horizontal slashes of her plasma axe, with Naruto having to make a move, bursting flame array. He used his free hand to punch the ground, which triggered a fiery explosion around him and knocked Arfwar back, then quickly followed up with another attack, Circle Blaze. He shifted the ZX saber to the ZX Buster, then took aim to launch a fireball which exploded upon impact with its target. Hey, leave Naruto alone. Cross combo. Neptune dashed towards and slashed several times at Arfwar for her to deflect some of them, but was knocked into the air by an uppercut, with Neptune flying up in pursuit to knock her down to the ground hard with a downward slash. Why you little, Tanzran Trom. Arfwar began spinning like a top with her plasma axe as she approached the group. Nice try, you fake imitator, but here's how you really do it. Tanzran Trom. Blanc proceeded to perform the same move as well, with both the goddess and the fake goddess clashing multiple times in the middle before breaking away, with the result being a draw. Silhouette Spear. Vert twirled her spear to summon the green magic circle next to her for a large wooden spiraled spear to shoot out, but Arfwar evaded by leaping high into the air. Gefahrlichtern. She waved her hands before her to conjure multiple orbs of compressed ice, then swinging her plasma axe to launch them at the group below. Naruto intercepted by leaping towards the incoming ice projectiles. Ether Rule. The ZX energy blade became tinted violet as he slashed at the projectiles, effectively erasing them upon contact. Then he brought out the chain rod and lashed out to wrap around one of Arfwar's leg. Get over here. He yanked Arfwar over to him and pressed the ZX saber, shifted to Buster mode against her torso. Splash Laser. He pulled the trigger to fire a powerful beam of water to send Arfwar plummeting to the group and cratering upon impact. Not bad, now it's my turn. Arfwar got up from the ground without that much damage and zoomed at a descending Naruto and attacked. Verschlag. He used the ZX saber to deflect the cleaving strikes the best he could, but was getting overwhelmed by her enhanced physical strength and got knocked by a kick to the torso, tumbling along the ground before slamming a palm to flip into the air and land on his feet before retaking his stance. Avoid defending against her strikes head-on. We can't match up to her strength, said Model X. I suggesting using your speed in this fight, Model Z added. Naruto nodded in affirmation. Roger that. You have some nerve to kick my little cutie. Feel the wrath of my EXE drive. Spiral break. She dashed forward at high speed to lance through Arfwar, then she turned around and unleashed a barrage of move attacks from multiple angles consecutively, with only green flashes being seen. Vert was then seen a fair distance above the target. May your sins be cleansed. She threw the spear at the fake goddess, triggering an explosion of green energy around her. The energy died down, showing Arfwar to have received a decent amount of damage but still capable of continuing the fight. Still kicking, eh? Then let me help you take a break permanently. Blanc rushed towards Arfwar with her plasma axe reared back for an attack. Zersterum. Blanc approached whilst spinning round with her plasma axe before stomping HRD on the ground to form cracks underneath her feet and attacking with a powerful swing. Arfwar got up and darted out of the way of the attack. She was about to retaliate when Neptune appeared in front of her. You're open, critical edge. She attacked with a diagonal slash, then followed it up with an uppercut to launch her into the air before moving at blurring speed to land a powerful slash to inflict a large amount of damage. Naruto was rapidly running towards Arfwar with the ZX saber reared back and dragging along the ground slightly. This oughta put you to sleep, Soaring Flame Mountain. He performed an uppercut which created an upward wall of flames, launching Arfwar into the air. Now use my Giga attack, said Model Z. Alright then, Rending Light Rule. Naruto raised a fist above his head before bringing down to punch the ground, summoning 11 beams of light appear from above to fall around him, with most of them targeting Arfwar and striking her without mercy to the point of undoing her transformation, thus ending the fight. Arfwar gritted her teeth in frustration at what had just happened. Why? Why can't I win? Me, with the power of 2 goddesses? I must admit that you're pretty tough, taking in all those attacks, said Neptune. Blanc slung her axe over her shoulder. I can fix that, I'll just beat the CRP out of her until I get my stuff back. I suggest you return Loi to us if you don't want to be beaten any more that you have already gone through, said If. Humph, you can keep this sad land of yours. But you will not get the powers I have. Never. Arfwar released a bright flash of light which blinded everyone before dissipating to reveal that she was gone. Running away again? This is getting rather annoying, said Naruto with a frown. But at least we all made it out okay, Neptune pointed out, receiving a shrug from the blonde. Maybe so, but the hag got away, said Blanc. At least take comfort with the fact that Loi is now safe, said Vert. I guess you're right. What say we head back? No doubt we could all use the rest, said Gatchman. Both Hai and Harassman had to be at a distance so as to not get in the way of the fight. Sometime later, Naruto and Ko are back in Plankton at Compass Place, but this time they were having a tag-along in the form of Blanc. Are you okay being with us? Wouldn't work at Loi require you being there? Asked Vert. The fake was ousted, so with Financier there, everything is back in order. Plus, it was her who asked to be with you all, Blanc explained. Glad to have you with us, Blanc-chan, said Naruto with a foxy grin. Blanc smiled softly in response. Me too, the other girls were looking at with frowns at their interactions. By the way, what about those brothers? I noticed that they weren't around before we left, asked Neptune curiously. They moved to Leanbox in order to worship Vert, saying that they wouldn't be able to serve me properly with her around. For some reason, I'm not surprised, said If. Well, besides their personality issues, they could be of use to me, said Vert. Suddenly her phone started ringing for her to pick up and answer. Hello, Vert speaking. Lady Vert, there's trouble, said Ranran worriedly over the phone. What is the matter? Well, those 2 men came into your room and started messing with you. Hey, stay away from Lady Vert's closet, her clothes are in there. Stop. Sounds of struggle could be heard through the phone speaker. Do something about them, Ranran, get those 2 out of my room, said Vert in a panic. Ranran's trying but they keep finding their way in. Stop jumping on Lady Vert's bed, don't sniff at the covers either. And no, stop. Vert immediately transformed into her HDD form much to everyone's surprise. Excuse me, I need to go and drive away some intruders. She took off through the window in direction of Leanbox. Everyone was silent till Neptune started narrating. Later, we heard screams of agony from the cell phone Vert left behind, said Neptune. Why are you narrating? Asked If. Well, we all know what's going to happen next. So, I thought, why not? Neptune replied. I hope she hurts those no-good pervs a lot, Naruto growled in thought. Naruto, why are you holding out your short swords again? Asked If. Naruto looked at his hands to see that he's holding Kansho and Bakuya yet again. Why do they keep appearing when I don't call on them? Harassman shivered. Naruto's being really scary right now. I'm beginning to suspect that he has a subconscious disdain for pervs, probably inherited from his mother, Gatchman concluded albeit nervously. Neptune turned her attention towards Blanc. So you're going to be with us, right? Blanc nodded in affirmation. Yes, though I may have to go back to Loi sometimes. By the way, Financier asked me to give this to you. Is this what you were looking for? Blanc held out something which the others immediately recognized. That's a key fragment. Where did you find it? Asked Naruto. Financier found it in Arfwar's room, said Blanc. Seems like she possesses most of the fragments since this is the second time we acquired one from her, said Model X. Now that we got 3, it's time for the Histy Hour show, said Neptune excitedly. Blanc was confused with all this. what does she mean exactly? I think it's easier to understand when you hear it, said Compa. Neptune took out the other 2 key fragments and placed the third amongst them, making them glow. Hey Histy, are you there? Yes, it's been a while everyone, and a first tie for you Lady Blanc, said Histoire. Blanc blinked in surprise. You're Histy. Actually, it's Histoire and I am a tome. I was the one who requested for Neptune and the others to search for the key fragments to free me. You can seek out the details from If and Compa. Okay. Hey, why wasn't I included to explain anything? Neptune, Naruto himself was a bit put off but recalled that he isn't exactly the most memorable person back home compared to Sakura or Shikamaru. Mostly because I don't really expect you to explain properly. Way to be harsh about it, I can't deny that being true. I thought as much. I also wish to extend my congrats for defeating Arfoire and taking back Lo E from her, said Histoire. You knew what happened? Asked Blanc. Of course, I am the tome that records all that occurs in this world. Neptune began to fidget nervously. Then you know what I did last night? Indeed I do. At 0:15, you ate IF's milk pudding and Naruto's vanilla pudding. Neptune waved her hands in a panic. Awawawa, please don't say any more. That was you Nep-chan. Here I thought I ate it last night when I checked the fridge, said Naruto in disbelief. If stared at her, care to explain yourself? Neptune couldn't bring herself to look them in the eye. Your eyes are looking pretty scary right now. I believe I got the general idea, so what is it you wish to relay to us, said Blanc. Arfoire's objective is to acquire the powers of all 4 goddesses. Despite being copies, she now has the powers of both Vert and Blanc. So, her next target would be either Neptune or Noir, Histoire explained to the group. I think I speak for everyone that we wouldn't like for her to get any stronger, said If. We'll be here to protect Nep, right Neru, said Compa. Naruto grinned in response, pretty much yeah Compa-chan. It appears that my time is up for now please, be careful, said Histoire. You got it Histy, said Neptune. Since we're guarding Neptune, that leaves Noir open, said If. Then we'll head back to La Station, no doubt we'll find her there, said Gatchman. Naruto nodded in agreement, sounds like a plan. Then we'll set out once Vert and her annoying memories return, Blanc grumbled. Roger that, said Naruto, then he noted the summoning charm of the Shiva sisters glowing. Naruto, there's something we need to speak to you about, said Nyx. What is it? Thought Naruto. We sense another one of our fellow deities here in Plankton albeit lying dormant, said Styria. There's another one of you guys. Indeed, concerning what we've heard from Histoire, I feel it best that we seek the deity out for aid, said Nyx. Well since Vert-chan has yet to return, we could use this time to find whoever they are, thought Naruto. Very well then, we shall seek the deity out tomorrow, said Styria with the blonde nodding in affirmation. So alright folks, that's all for today. Stay tuned for part 5. Do subscribe, like and share for more such videos. Also check out the story and author Hussbek on FANFICTIONnet. Press the bell icon to be notified first on release. See you in the next video till then goodbye.